Hello, hello. All right. Here we are on Lakeside, finally bringing you this demo review that I've been excited to do for a long time. So this is, maybe I should have looked it up, but this is an RGL match basically between the Witness Gaming and then Goonman CHUBBZ Daniel. Here we go. It's RGL Season 20 of Highlander in Week 4. And these are the two teams that are sort of the grand finals pair that everyone is expecting for the season anyway. Of course, multiple invite winners on both sides. So I had casted this game with Jamon pretty recently, which was, first of all, super fun. I love working with him. But I was excited to break this down a little bit further because, I kind of mentioned that for anyone coming up in the ranks, or even if you're a top player, this is such a great demo to watch. Yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. Why not? So it's fun to do a demo review, by the way, that is sort of a full team rather than just a single individual POV. So one thing that we want to look at here, number one, I guess we're on Lakeside, right? So let's break down what makes a mid-fight. Mid-fight essentially has these three lanes. Number one is like towards the lakeside. Number two is the main stairs. And number three is lake house. There's sort of almost a rock, paper, scissors, right? That if you have more players in Lake House than they have in Lake House, then you'll probably win it. But if your players on point die because they don't have enough support, then it's not that helpful to have won Lake House, right? So a lot of what we're looking at mid is what are these teams' approaches to, like, how, number one, how much do they want that Lake House win? Like, how many chips are they going to bet on winning the Bathhouse mid-fight? And then second, how does that affect basically the players on point? Third, what do they do if they win Bathhouse or if they lose Bathhouse? So these are sort of the things we're looking at first, and we can see here basically that Blank, Toy, and DT are already bringing their heals towards main. So we have a full buff scout, full HP demo man on the Witness Gaming side, and I'll just call them CHUBBZ here on the other side. We see that Blake has not yet met up with Bowl, so Pablo, yeah, still has a decent enough buff, but basically the heals are going later towards Bathhouse for CHUBBZ here, and the heals are earlier to point here for Witness Gaming. So it's an interesting counter here that, right, we see Jacob being the initiator here on mid. So basically what CHUBBZ is doing is they're saying, we want to win Bathhouse hard. We're going to commit more heals there to try and win that. In the meantime, Jacob go and distract them on point. So saying, like, Bowl, basically just, like, show presence here and show that the point isn't free. Literally take a 1v3. Then Jacob will go and buy you time before I give you the heals. And then, hopefully, our players in Bathhouse will be better off for it. But let's see, because Honesty and Carson are already half HP. Yeah, this is great. So what we saw out of Jacob so far, bombing in as Soldier there, I'll get a little bit closer. Wait for the Heavy to stop firing. I guess he won't. So we saw Jacob basically running that interference, and it eventually led to that pick onto... led to that pick onto DT. Of course, that was a big help from Pablo, charging across point with the heals from Blake. But we can see essentially here how, Jacob was sort of the linchpin of this mid. So it looks like the the Bathhouse fight actually did go in favor of Witness. You can see now, like, what happens if you win. Having, number one, their decloaked spy, like, saying we need to contest mid here no matter what, and for Eerie Person to come out so strongly, basically, is, like, what we get out of winning Bathhouse, right? But the thing is, being down your demo man, that is such an uphill battle. First of all. Second, like, even if you have Bathhouse, it's like, ooh, now we have Bathhouse with our, like, engineer and, our pyro and, like, our sniper, but our sniper doesn't have a lot of angles yet. So, yeah, this is great, I think, out of CHUBBZ to, okay, number one, play to win Bathhouse harder. Number two, have Jacob buy us time on point. Number three, convert that into a winning fight on the point, so that eventually CHUBBZ said, great, we got the demo man, let's just all group up on point. So now that even though Witness Gaming won Bathhouse, there wasn't a lot they could do out of it. Eerie goes down for it. So now they're kind of in salvage mode, like, they should lose this. So I love this play out of Ether and Rebel to be, like, the most expendable classes right now. Just shove forward and see what we can get. So they end up going down for it. Not too much to show for it. But yeah, I think we just saw, like, a really solid mid. Like, sort of the flow chart out of CHUBBZ was absolutely fantastic here, right? Like, what do you do in order to respond? We could dig into that later. Not enough time for now. But this is great. I think that desperation play basically out of Ether and Rebel to see, like, can we get something to find a way back into this mid fight. I actually think this is sort of a more dubious play, right? Once sort of it was clear that this mid fight was losing, maybe the right play is to have Toy play further back and play, like, far enough back, like, sort of in main, right? Like, if this goes well, I can go back in. If it goes poorly, I can leave. But Toy actually stays full committed here. And as you can see now, being basically tied for the first farthest person forward on Witness Gaming, it seems like Toy's going to go down here for it. Eats a pipe from Bowl, and wow, what a surf. Actually manages to survive just barely. So, great play out of Toy, like, recognizing, yeah, like, whoops, I need to be gone. Also, great play from the CHUBBZ team, like, Bowl charging forward for the medic. Like, wait, their medic is still here? Bowl going for the medic, Pablo going for the medic. Really great play. One other one that actually we caught on stream that I didn't catch here is that Jacob counted DT's respawn timer. As soon as DT respawned, Jacob went to go and sack and trade for DT, basically. So we can see here DT on 17 HP, Jacob on 20. DT actually does win it, but now DT has to walk back to spawn, so it's like almost as long as it would take for him to get killed anyway. So a really great play out of Jacob that there is no way for Witness Gaming back in now anyway. Even if they get a pick with their sniper, they still have to wait, 7 seconds for DT to come back and get healed up. So, like, that is, the difference maker, I think, of playing at the top level here. For Jacob to find that timing, number one. Number two, know that it cements his team here on the point for a lot longer. And that even him failing is still a success, right? Jacob died for this, and he has a really long respawn timer. Still worth it. Still so clearly worth it. Like, let's see now how long it takes for DT to come back. Yeah, he's finally with the team now, and they're finally starting to work forward, but Jacob is respawning now. So, again, that's how bad it was to fail, which is still an overwhelming success. Fantastic play there. Let's take a look. So, Fish going for the decloak. I don't know, it's a little bit tougher, I think, as Spy. Like, I'm not sure which watch he's on. But in any case, maybe he had to go, maybe not, I don't know. But what you want to do there is, like, scream to your team, like, I'm decloaking, let's go, or calling for your team to go before you decloak. It just seemed like, again, Witness Gaming wasn't ready for Fish to decloak. Oh, wait a second. Why wasn't Witness Gaming ready? Because of that play from Jacob, right? Yeah, so I love seeing that kind of theme, basically, of players to create this type of an opening, and then now we can see downstream, like, yeah, I guess my philosophy is, like, I want to recognize how good things are in the moment, rather than saying how good something is after the fact. Because, again, like, in the game, you can only make a decision now. You won't know how good it is in 15 seconds from now. So when I do a review, I love to say, like, here's why this play is good or bad in the moment and what might happen later. Now we're actually seeing that play out, that, like, that butterfly effect, like, trickle-down economics. Jacob going in for DT and dying without getting the pick was still so detrimental to Witness Gaming that now Fish is caught out of position and totally off timing. Now we have to go through this even Uber exchange with no spy and no map control, basically. Like, Shadowway is in a great spot here. Like, Shadowway's calling everything that's happening for CHUBBZ. Like, there's nothing more you could really want if you're the CHUBBZ team here. And Witness Gaming is in this little ball, like, having to hope they get some picks, but, like, you're not really going to get that during the Uber. Hope they get some map control, but, like, you're not really going to get bathhouse or point capture. So their only hope is, I guess, that Lenny is on low HP. So let's see what this Uber exchange looks like. And again, so telegraphed. Like, everyone on CHUBBZ knows exactly where the Uber is coming from. Great. So talking about initiative, right? So as soon as the Uber is popped, Jacob knows he's not doing anything during the Uber. So he goes and gets lost. He basically sees that Honesty and Lenny have control of Bathhouse, and there's not really a lot to contest there. So Jacob's like, great, I'm going to get behind, lock off this part of the map from the enemy with Shadowway. So if the enemy wants to go here, they can't. If they don't want to go here, then Jacob and Shadowway can do whatever they want. And yeah, like, look how corralled basically this is for Witness Gaming. Like, before, Witness Gaming had almost this entire half of the map. Now they have this little corner of the map. Let's look at these post Ubers as well. So wow, actually a considerably better Uber coming out of the CHUBBZ team. To be honest, I personally, when I'm thinking about my Uber philosophies, I don't really want to have a longer Uber than my opponent that often, just because, building and having the disad is a lot worse compared to how good it is to have a Uber that's, 1.5 seconds longer. Like, is Bull realistically going to get anything, or like Pablo, is he going to get a pick off this slightly longer Uber? Absolutely not. But if we have a 1.5 second disad for the next Uber, that could be a huge issue. So it's interesting, yeah, for them to call to, like, actually let's milk and try and have a longer Uber, because really they have all the map control. They know they're not getting a pick, so you kind of just want to cycle these Ubers and keep on keeping on. Interesting play. I would have played it different, but I think it's, again, great that they work together as a team to make this call. But, like, man, look at this. Like, every one of these stickies from Bull is about to do 200 damage. Everyone's grouped up in this little thing. Like, again, what do you do as Witness Gaming? Blank is sort of in a spot to do something, but he has Jacob behind him. He has no support if he's going to work forward. So this, like, you know, if we had an evaluation bar, this is so strongly favoring the team CHUBBZ here. But let's see what it looks like in the post. Huh. So we saw a great play, I think, out of Blank and DT to just work forward and say, like, you know what? We have to go for an opening. We're going to die otherwise. Or, like, we're going to, like, we have better respawn timers. We may as well charge forward and die. So for a period, Blank does ignore the players behind. But then now we can see what happens, like, in the adjustment. So that pick player behind, like, great, Jacob got ignored. He got a pick on a fish. Again, having that pick on the spy, like, Jacob went all the way to spawn for it, went out at 1 HP for it. The spy is so much of calling your plays, so much of explaining what the enemy's doing. The spy is such a high value pick that, you know, for Jacob again to count these respawn timers and, like, just, like, pluck one of the most important people out of the fight before the fight even happens. God, this is so much fun. Yeah, please, any soldier players, if you watch this whole one from Jacob, you know, classically, I think what many would say is the best spy in Highlander history now that we've seen so many seasons of RGL of Jacob just going absolutely ballistic. Like, seeing the way he leverages that as a damage-dealing class rather than an assassin class is such a treat. But okay, so we can see again, like, he forces them into that tough call. Like, do you ignore Jacob and let him get these picks behind while you try and charge forward? Or now Blank is backing up to try and deal with shot away, but, like, he's not here to help Ether. He's not here to help DT. Finally, we actually lost a lot of these players on the back lines to more pick classes. So Lenny got the pick onto Mujet, so no sniper and no spy. Yeah, we are in a lot of trouble for Witness Gaming. This is an uphill battle. DT doing enormous damage despite all odds, so to speak. And I do like the adjustment out of the rest of Witness Gaming. So we can see here that, like, Melon and Eerie, I think, recognize, like, this fight is not good. If the fight was good, they would be fighting on point, right? They would want to go for this point control and win the point, you know, get the clock ticking in their favor. They recognize this fight is actually bad. So I actually really like how these players are playing away from their medic, right? It's like even here, like, if the enemy team makes an all-in play for Toy, then Melon and Eerie can make a play for Blake and you know, control from the backlines and making these openings for Ether. So it's a cool way to hedge your bets for Witness Gaming, right? That, like, this is sort of a bad fight, but now suddenly, what did I say how bad this was for Witness a while ago, that they were corralled in this little corner? Now, CHUBBZ is corralled on this low ground. Wait a second. Ether's on the high ground here. Melon and Eerie can peek out main. DT and Blank are across point. So the high ground suddenly swung in favor of Witness Gaming. Really strong play out of that. Honestly, that one, like, massive pipe onto Bull is what tripped us all off. I think if DT puts out 100 less damage than he did, this whole opening does not happen, right? And I, like, even rewind the video, like, take a look at what allowed Witness Gaming back in here. There's almost nothing except for Bull backing up, right? Like, even Lenny was getting picks. Like, Lenny got Mujet, so the sight lines are not clear. So there's no picks coming in. There's no meaningful map control that was allowed to them. Jacob is still alive behind, by the way. So, like, Blank had to, again, say, like, sorry, respawners, good luck, and opt to fight the point instead. But this is a huge play out of Witness, and, like, we can see how great it was for them to, again, hedge that bet, going for Bathhouse. How much the damage out of DT opened this play back up for them. Getting point here is actually a tough one. I almost would call for fewer players on point, just because I don't think... So you have to think, like, what's, like, how bad is it if we succeed is a question I love to ask in Highlander. So for Witness Gaming, how bad is it if we succeed in capturing the point? It's like, well, actually, we kind of have to back up. Our health isn't great. Second, their sniper is set up and is in beam distance to win SVS. Our sniper is, like, way disconnected from our team. So if I'm Witness Gaming, I feel uncomfortable about capping the point here. And, like, I don't think we have a lot to show for it, even if we get it. So I find it interesting that they did stack, you know, ×6 on the point or whatever it was. And now they have to back off to the low ground, low HP, not in a great spot with their sniper. Maybe the play would have been, like, instead of ×6 on the point, we keep ×2, send a couple players in Bathhouse, and send 1 or 2 aggressive on the far side of point. That way, if we do get the point, we have a lot of map control that we can cement ourselves in post. Or if we fail in getting the point, we at least have a lot of opportunities to pressure their combo. And if we don't get the point now, we can get it in 20 seconds from now. So I think this is like, I mean, it is desperate, right? Like already a minute is off the clock. 2 more of those and you lose the round. So Witness had to go for the point eventually. But I think the circumstances they got it here are not super favorable, you know what I mean? Oh god, this damage. See, this is again what being on the high ground versus low ground does. These shots from Bowl, right, like rattling off, take out Melon completely. Every one of these pipes is doing 170 damage. Toy is too low to fight. Erie's too low to fight. DT is, yeah, also too low to fight, and like will be picked because he can't leave fast enough, it looks like. So like Fish again is a saving grace. Nice heals at least out of Toy, saying again like this now is clearly losing. I mean, look at the timer on the bottom, like the time is 5, it's more than half capped, and CHUBBZ is doing the damage for it. So like this is so strongly winning for CHUBBZ that now you're kind of on the back foot as Witness Gaming, right? Like we now want to throw our lives away to try and contest this, and whatever picks we get will allow us for a refight later. But Blake is on this Uber, but again, Fish didn't even have enough time to get deep enough to go for a play on the combo. So yeah, I think this is a tougher one from Witness. Like again, you had to go for the point at some point. Fine, but I don't know. I think if I would have seen a little bit more of them like creating a way that our follow through allows us into the round for a while, I think that would have gone a long way for them. Again, splitting the team horizontally across the point. But instead, yeah, we're going to see this play where they actually might lose Toy as well, which would be well basically horrible because there's such an ad from Blake right now if Toy dies. But I'm actually super surprised. Like again, this is sort of a let me see if the flames stop for a sec. Yeah. This is an enormous like difference maker at the high level versus low level that like again the Witness Gaming players are so good at focus firing that even though this whole time I've said Toy is vulnerable, Toy still has not died here. So like it's incredible I think for Witness Gaming to recognize that like our lose condition is if we lose our medic. Everyone focus on playing around our medic and keeping our medic safe, and we kind of have to contest the round because again if we like yield here, finally we'll back up, get Uber, go back in, exchange Ubers, post Ubers. There's only a minute left on the clock for CHUBBZ at that point. So again, even getting your medic out safely here is not that good of a play. So yeah, great decision making out of them, I think, to like again really focus around Toy, who now only just at the last second losing blank finally leaves at full HP. Like, oh, this is actually I wish I really want to watch this from Toy's perspective now, actually, to like again like have this much trust and faith in your team and then keep making that right decision of when to leave. That's incredible. Yeah. A review for myself for another time. So we do even out on these Ubers, but do you remember what I mentioned before? What was it? There was, I think, 1:44 left on the clock for CHUBBZ. So, again, I said, how bad is it if we succeed? How bad is it if we successfully get Toy out, heal up our whole team, go in for the exchange, hypothetically win the exchange, and then get the cap time on the point, and then the clock starts ticking again for us? That is so much time, right? That the clock is ticking in the meantime. So I said that at 1:44 that CHUBBZ had on the clock. Now it's 1:30 that they've ticked down to. Let's wait until like I really want to see once this clock does tick all the way down how much time is on there, like how long does it take to follow the textbook of TF2 and do the right things? So this is something that I always beg for players that like even at the honestly at the lower invite level and below, or like middle invite level even and below, you have to stop following the textbook and start obsessing over the clock. Like you only have 3 minutes on the clock for Highlander, which has so many players. It's so sticky to like even if you win a fight, it's not that clean. Even if you're holding the point, it doesn't feel that comfortable. And a lot of players are not that fast. So the point is, I think going off script and getting desperate for getting time on the clock again in these like higher risk, higher reward plays that Witness Gaming has been doing, this is your only way into a match like this. So don't follow the textbook, because here's what the textbook says, like, oh, let's get our medic out and have an exchange and then try and win the post and then use our better spawns to eventually cap. That takes over a minute to do. So that is unacceptable at this level of TF2. You see now Witness Gaming is forced into doing that. They got Toy out. They have even Ubers. They're working their way back in. Surprise, Jacob is still in the back lines wreaking havoc. But again, let's watch how much time comes when the post Uber starts. All right, post Uber, and here we go. They start getting on point now. There's 1 minute on the clock. So again, Witness Gaming doing everything right, following the textbook. means they've lost, like, even now, if they capture the point in 10 seconds from now, it's been basically an entire minute of following the textbook. That is suffocating. That, again, is 1/3 of the entire round. And now, you know, CHUBBZ is going to have less than a minute left on the clock. So if they get the point one more time, they'll probably win the entire round. So, yeah, I love the way that, again, CHUBBZ is forcing these situations. I think you can see how bad it is for Witness Gaming to be following the textbook here. Again, it wasn't their choice. They did try. They went for that high-risk, high-reward play. They said, you know what? We need to gamble Toy's life because it'll be that much worse for us if we have to back our medic all the way out and all the way in with Uber. So, again, Witness Gaming made such a sharp call there. It happened to not work out, but I'm glad that they made that choice. So, yeah, we can see again, like, I paused the clock, now, a whole 10 seconds ago, we're losing players on both sides, but again, the clock is ticking in favor of CHUBBZ. So it's like, we hope that this battle of attrition goes on forever if you're the one in control of the point. So again, it's like, go ahead and come at us. So we're going to have Blake keep everyone alive. Lenny's going to beam across the, like, keep his, the sight line across the entire point. Yes, Jacob went down before, but Rebel isn't in a position to really help the team, and he'll go down immediately. Like, he has a lot of a harder time getting all this stuff set up to support. Toy has to heal Rebel instead of actual damage-dealing classes because of Jacob's damage before. This is an amazing play out of Ether. Wow. Please go back and rewind and check Ether's, like, how he basically had moved through, like, gone through Bathhouse to create this opening. So, it was a pretty middling fight. We saw before that Jacob said, like, ooh, if I deny this spawner from coming into the fight, or, sorry, actually, let's go back to when Jacob played on the first mid. He's like, if I can turn the enemy attention away from, if I could turn the enemy combo's attention away from my demo man, I can keep Bull alive for a while the rest of my team deals with Bathhouse first. Ether just did the same thing. He's like, ooh, if I can thread the needle, turn everyone's attention towards Ruins, and make Blake have to respond, basically, the rest of my team can comfortably go for points. So Ether will die here. Witness Gaming will get the point. What an amazing play. Jacob going for a salvage. Wow, really nice bomb. Yeah. So, great play out of Ether to create that opening. Yep, he goes down for it. Great. Great choice. It is really tough now. We can see that the rest of the crew basically is dying around it. Like, Melon did go down to Jacob, a great bomb. Mujetta looks like died to Lucky's mini. That's pretty funny. Anyway, these other ones too, that, like, Fish going down to Blake, you know, when, again, you have this amount that you're backing up as CHUBBZ, you're going to back into the Spy. It happens. And finally, Shadowway just now getting the stab onto Toy is a huge difference maker. I mean, that basically seals the round. CHUBBZ is going to come back in with these numbers. So anyway, I like this play from Jacob, right? Like, bombing super high into the skybox, sync bombing onto point and dying for it. Everyone now, like, DT is so hurt, he might be a pick from someone like Lucky and honestly, whoops. Yeah, this is, again, so suffocating, right? And we can see that how Ether drawing all the eyes over here meant that Witness Gaming was able to come onto point. Now, Jacob going and turning everyone's attention forward means that Shadowway has a free way in, right? So these soldier players basically using their lives to create opportunities for their teammates. Absolutely incredible. I can't get over how well both of these players are, like, looking for these opportunities and capitalizing on them and calling around them. But wow, absolute nail in the coffin for Witness Gaming to lose, yeah, not one but two, and yeah, DT is sort of a lost cause, 3 HP here anyway. Yeah, Lucky recognizing DT is, like, annihilated here, that's funny. Yeah, this round is over. I might even make the play, if I were on CHUBBZ, to run into the enemy ruins or run into the enemy main. Like, go for some crazy aggressive play to shove them out of the round hard. Don't let them have a chance to approach the point. Stuff out one area of the map and then rotate to meet them on the other. Because, yeah, I think we don't want to let Fish get in a position like this, and we don't want Witness Gaming to have all of their HP as they approach, but again, the spawns are just so bad here that it's kind of winning regardless. So, yeah, I guess this is where, like, you know, again, if you're CHUBBZ, you're on the high ground, right? Like, they found Fish here. You know, again, Fish, like, didn't have enough time to cross the point. So I guess that is 1 point in favor of playing more passive here. Second, they are playing the high ground, right? They have their sniper, they have path control, they have all across the point. Basically, everyone from Witness Gaming who wants to peek them has to peek into Lenny and peek into all this damage. Lenny actually getting a little too aggressive for it. But, yeah, this I would qualify basically as dead time. Like, Eerie can't get close enough fast enough as the slowest class. Wow. So I'd love to go through some takeaways, I guess, of round number 1. That mid from CHUBBZ was so good. Like, the Witness Gaming mid was great, but you can feel, like, the intention behind the mid from CHUBBZ. There's, like, first, we stack the deck so that we win Bathhouse, have the heals there later, have more players there. Second, have Jacob run interference on the point. He'll basically guaranteed die, but he keeps Bull alive, and he keeps their combo lower HP while this all is happening. Finally, once our combo does go back and meet Bull, we can reassess that, like, ooh, if we've won Bathhouse, then we can collapse together with our team. If we lost Bathhouse, we can center all of our heals and attack the point and win that first, and then win Bathhouse later. So really, really nice mid out of CHUBBZ. Again, please go back and watch that again if you like. Second, you know, these playmakers basically from both teams found so many of the right timings. We saw many from Jacob that, for me, again, was like a easy round MVP. Second, we saw great ones from Ether too, of like, here's how we like kind of desperately need to get at the point. Third, we kind of saw how bad it is to follow the TF2 textbook at this level. And, well, if you're someone who wants to get to this level, then you have to go against the textbook in these circumstances too. It was so agonizing for Witness Gaming to be at like 60%, back the medic up fully alive, get the Uber, go in, exchange, fight the post Uber, start capping the point, get the point. That took over a minute on the clock. Like, that went... They did all of the right things in a row, and it took over a minute. So that basically is like surrendering 1/3 of the round in order to get the point once with no Uber to, like, you know, your medics is on 20% and once you finally get the point. So that is a really tough one. Like, you want to avoid having to play by the textbook if you can create a kind of greedier opening in the short term, especially because Witness Gaming was on the back foot, right? They had like more time on the clock to make up for than CHUBBZ did. Round number 2. Let's see if CHUBBZ has the same type of mid or not. Ooh, already Carson and Lucky going a different way. That is interesting. I wonder why. We also have a huge change up from Witness Gaming. They are surrendering Bathhouse. Again, I think this is like such a cool rock, paper, scissors on this map. So right now, Witness Gaming is saying, like, number 1, our medic is fine. Nothing will happen to Toy. Number 2, we are playing basically to obliterate these players early on the other side of point. Let them have Bathhouse, but we want to obliterate the players who are fighting point. Then we'll deal with Bathhouse after the fact. But that's sort of your win condition. Like, we can't let these players stay healthy and lose Bathhouse. Then we have like these 2 bits of high ground to contest for at the same time, but the enemy has more presence there. So yeah, basically let's see how fast Witness Gaming can get in the game and like make something happen here. Yeah, this is so fast. Melon being a cross point, Eerie being a cross point. This is everything we want. Very interesting, too, of, like, you know, we saw 2 more players here and then later Blake. So, you know, kind of 2.5 extra players fighting from main versus, 5 extra players from Witness Gaming. Really, the only one is Rebel, who's not here. So, again, we have Melon looking to initiate, Eerie looking to initiate, everyone on CHUBBZ hoping they stay alive while their Bathhouse players get in position. Let's see how it keeps playing out. Yeah, honestly, recognizing that, like, oh, Bull is so reamed. Yeah, this is exactly what we want. Like, Melon is the one who lost HP here. Great. Or Pyro lost health. Who cares? Bull's the one who lost HP here. Oh, no, that's awful. Right now, Ether has an amazing bomb. Like, you can hop onto Lenny here, who has no protection. You can hop onto Bull, who's a guaranteed kill, basically. I mean, Carson's looking at it, so that's, again, sharp play out of Carson, but it's kind of desperate compared to, like, DTS full health and Melon is in, right? I think that's I would rather this than that anytime. Honestly, though, is the linchpin. I love how he recognized, like, oh, wait a second, getting in position or, like, wrapping behind the enemy is too little too late. I must contest now, otherwise our combo will die. So, honestly, I think it's the linchpin here. Everyone on Witness Gaming playing this aggressive here is, like, the other, like, side. So, we basically have to watch how the cards fall. Is honestly going to create enough of a diversion and put enough damage out to sort of recuperate the presence on the high ground here on point? Or is Witness Gaming going to get that clutch pick that they need to cement their spot here with this, you know, and like keep the damage rolling in their favor? Let's see. So great play out of Ether. Wow, Lenny actually... oh, Carson with the flare. Wow, actually manages to grab Ether in return. Honestly, does get chunked really, really low, but honestly and Lucky combined to get that pick onto DT. So, yeah, this is amazing that, like, Eerie has taken damage but not dealt out a lot himself yet. Melon happens to be alive, but DT is not alive. You remember I said before, like, wow, that's a great trade. Give up your Pyro's health to get HP for your demo, but honestly was just, again, so quick to the draw here. Even Jacob saying, like, wait a second, Rebel's the only one out there. He's not even going to go and fight for Rebel anymore. He's going to come back and contribute towards point. This is great, actually, again, out of Carson, like, for him to help basically guarantee that trade, making sure that Ether dies, even though we're losing Lenny for it. Very sharp play. The last bit, I think, for Witness Gaming is if Mujet manages to get a pick, which I don't know. Oh, Mujet is right here on Obelisk. There we go. So if they're able to get a pick from their sniper, great. That's sort of the only way back in here, because losing your demo here, I think, is very tough. So I would say that, of all things, Carson managed to salvage and mitigate the damage from Ether really well. Honestly, was the hero of this mid. Like, just run in a straight line through Bathhouse towards point and, you know, do 200 damage to their demo. Well, with the cleanup from Lucky. That's fantastic. But yeah, now, let's see. No Scout? And no... Yeah, where is Blank right now? Yeah, Blank got disconnected. So, basically, no Scout and no Demo Man here for Toy and Melon to contest Pablo. That is rough. We see the numbers are sort of even, but the way I'm describing this, like, it feels, again, still winning for CHUBBZ, even though I guess I don't have a lot of players here. Yeah, Mujet really getting one pick. Okay, I guess it's pretty middling. Cool to see how this mid comes out. And Melon goes down to it. Blake peeks into Mujet. I'm a very aggressive player myself. I don't think I would go that far, but, I mean, again, to me, this mid feels winning whether I peek or not, so I would err on the side of not peeking, but maybe Pablo is calling, like, just tank me, I can kill everyone. Yeah, that seems like the call from Blake's body language, but now Pablo is so deep that Blake can't seal the deal. Very nice call out of Pablo. Yeah, that's like, you know, the shark smelling blood in the water. I mentioned on stream that, like, I think a lot of people would say that Blank is the best scout in Highlander for a long time now. But, like, as much as people fear Blank now is how much I used to fear Pablo. Like, he had that hiatus for a couple of years, but Pablo is still so good. Like, he's got this movement like crazy. Again, this focus fire, like, you know, reading the flow of the game. Him playing a lot of sixes, too, I think, is an interesting way for him to, like, sort of, like, value his life and like, you know, again, be more of that, like, combo player on Scout, or, like, recognize how his play affects the combo. So, yeah, this is huge out of Pablo for him to make the executive call saying, I can win this mid. Come forward with me. Yeah, like I mentioned it before, it was sort of middling. Then Pablo made that call, and now is winning out hard.
The control point is being captured.
Amazing. So 3v3 after this whole mid is said and done. Right, like you know, a lot of times people are like, oh, here, you know, they want to look at a review and it's like, here's what the team did right. Here's what the team did wrong. Just stop doing the wrong things and do more of the right things and you'll win games. That's not how TF2 works. Especially in Highlander where there's so many players on the server that are doing so many different things. Yeah, so I'm really loving what I'm seeing out of both teams. Like, both of them had such a great philosophy and a great flowchart of how they wanted to approach this mid. It really came down to these really minute, like, you know, who managed to hit a couple more of their shots, who found that, you know, brilliant timing. And finally, Pablo, again, like, making this call at the last moment. This is what we love to see out of Highlander. And ooh, this is interesting as well for Witness Gaming to say, like, you know what, let's try and hard contest this. This is a play you'll see a lot at this level. And then, again, I wish more players did at more levels. If you're about to lose the point, you should basically all in as often as you can. Because either we lose the all in, so our players die, but we have a way faster respawn timer. So we lose this all in, but we win the next one because we got a couple picks onto them, even though we all, like, wiped. We got a couple picks on them. We have so much we can work back into the round with. Or you win the all in, and we actually stop them from capping the points in the first place, and we get to cap it instead. So an all in at this point is a tough call to make, but the right one, I think. So I really like what I see out of Witness Gaming to say, like, well, now they're all half HP. Meanwhile, look at how great the HP is on CHUBBZ. But hey, again, at the worst case scenario, Witness Gaming blocked that 10 seconds from going down on the clock. So now the clocks are still, like, the point is still not capped. If the point was capped 10 seconds ago, that's 10 seconds in the round. Second, Witness Gaming, even if they die here, they have a faster respawn, and Ubers are coming up anyway, so it's really not that bad to die. Yeah, I love that play out of them. Crazy out of Blank and Pablo to take this fight still, actually. But both of them, again, know that, like, if I win this fight, it's an enormous win for my team. Oh my god, blank. Holy. Just like kind of recognize that like, wait, no one's watching me here and I know the mini's not up yet. From Fish basically calling that like, hey, here's Lenny, you can walk at him. And then blank saying great. Like every time, I mentioned this on the cast, every time you feel like a play is too good to be true, it's because the spy called it. Blank running in a straight line into Lenny here and winning it, basically, again, even if he doesn't, now they have to sink all their heals into Lenny, and Lenny can't peek during that time, so again, it's a win even if blank doesn't get the pick. You get what I mean. The only reason all this happens is because Fish called it. Such good play. Yeah, blank goes down for it, but they trade him for Lenny. Great play. And again, as soon as the Uber is popped, Jacob is like, great, I'm getting behind enemy lines, so again, hedge those bets. Great, yep. Like, Shadowway's in position, Jacob's in position. Now, what is DT going to do? Jacob's going to harass him like crazy from here. Bull has the high ground. Carson can reflect DT's damage. So, it's like, Mujet will, in a couple seconds, have to take a 0 buff shot somewhere. I mean, there's no enemy sniper, sure, but... yeah, this is suffocating. Like, yeah, DT is... like, what do you do if you're DT? Witness is doing the right thing, I think, here, of, like, going for Bathhouse and saying, like, okay, we're going to get this map control, this high ground, and leverage that into a play later. So, like, yeah, you can see here that, like, when this area was open, Jacob and Shadowway took it. When this area is open, Eerie and Ether are taking it. That's, again, like, you can leverage map control into a push. And that, like, again, at this level is sort of the only accelerator you have for a fight like this. So DT, again, doing a great job putting damage out, not taking too much. Pablo, I think over, like, yeah, I think DT lived here for too long, honestly. And, like, even Pablo's like, we should have been able to get a solo demo pick here by now. But instead, goes down for it, so that is tough. The Witness play, the Witness Gaming players here getting contested actually pretty strongly. Nice play to Lucky. Wow. So, believe it or not, Blake going and rotating heals up here is what let Lucky and Honesty win this fight in the Bathhouse. Losing Pablo here is like, you know, if you're Pablo, you think this should have been winning. And the rest of the team to be like, ooh, we're going to let them have Bathhouse, then we retake it with better heals. Just keep our players alive on point, and then we can collapse after. Like, again, this all happened in the span of 8 seconds, right? Of Jacob took part of the map control, then Witness Gaming took Bathhouse back, then CHUBBZ team went back in and took Bathhouse back, and yeah, there's such a flow, again, of this map control, of these initiators. Now Jacob's saying, like, great, I can throw my life away and we all collapse here. Like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 players are all locked onto the enemy position here. So, yeah, let's see. Jacob goes and dies for it. Lucky putting out huge damage, gets the demo, dies for it. Great. Blank going down 2 to Carson. Like, Blank basically saying, like, I must die to try and get something. Again, it's faster to charge in, die, and respawn than it is to walk back to spawn right now anyway. Wow. Oh, see, like, this is where, to me, again, I'm going to take a breath, take a step back. Let's let this one sink in. Like, just look at the clock here. There's 2 minutes left for CHUBBZ to cap. There's a whole 3 minutes for Witness Gaming to cap. If we're Witness, we have disad. We have basically no map control. Eerie's the only person who has any control, and like a little, like, we have control of the obligatory or like the freely given stuff on our side of the map. So there's no forward hold actually out of CHUBBZ. Normally this team is known for having phenomenal forward holds and sort of writing the textbook, I would say, on like how to manage forward holds at the top level of TF2. So it's interesting to me to see how rarely they're forward holding even in a situation like this. But anyway, even if you're Witness, okay, so you have no map control. We have no vision on the enemy team, right? Like, Fish is not behind enemy lines. I think he's a spawner. Yeah. We have no vision. We have no map control. We have no Uber. This, to me, is basically lost for Witness Gaming already. Because, again, even if 3 of these things go right, the 4th one sucks. Like, even if we get numbers ad, even if we get map control, we have Uber disad. Or, like, even if we pick their medic, let's say lightning strikes Blake and he is smited out of the server, we still aren't close enough to the point to contest. We still don't have like really any clear way in or any way to win that fight. You are so having your back against the wall for Witness Gaming. So again, if you're people at low invite, advanced, main, intermediate, open, amateur, everything, if you're Witness Gaming, you are desperate in this round. You have to go crazy and come up with some way back in. Otherwise, you will lose. Even if you do everything right, you will still lose. Or like, basically, you do everything right, you might cap the point, well, they have 30 seconds left, and you have a whole 3 minutes to wind down. That is losing. So, let's see what it looks like, basically, for Witness Gaming to be desperate and fight their way back in tooth and nail. Excuse me. All right, fish in position. High ground for the team. Just collecting themselves. We still have a full ad. So right now, again, since I paused it, it's taken them almost 20 seconds just to get vision from fish and to like not even start the fight. Okay, a pick from a jet. Getting numbers ad, that's one of the 4 things we need to go right. But like now what? Wow, actually, ooh. I have to wrap my head around this one. That's like I'm very curious why they went for this play. Like, Shotaway calling for this. So, normally you only go for an ad play if your own spy says, I am behind the enemy medic, we can get their medic, and then, like, you know, have another Uber ad to go for, and then just do that over and over until the round's over, right? So you only go for an ad play if your spy calls it. This seems pretty dubious to me. I mean, even then, like, DT and Blank are in a position where they can contest, so even if DT and Blank go down but Toy doesn't, this is a bad use of the ad. I don't like this play. I'm really curious what caused it. Huh. If any CHUBBZ players are watching this, please let me know. Please, yeah, like, comment what it maybe inspired this or what your idea is of what you have to gain here. I think it's still so suffocating to let Witness Gaming just, like, you know, push the Sisyphus bolter up the hill where, like, even if they get a snipe, you can't use it. Even if you drop their medic, you can't get close enough to the point. I guess let's see how it plays out. So first, what we're noticing is Jacob getting the flash. He is going to go for another one of those double high bombs and have 300 HP at the end of it. So, or well, I guess it doesn't have enough heals yet, but a lot of HP, more than you would normally have since he's getting the flash for the first rocket jump. Shotaway is decloaking. I'm Lucky, again, is in a great position. Like, oh, I love how Lucky's playing this engineer, right? Like, for me to constantly note that the engineer is playing really well around the team has so much to say. Like, all right, I'm gonna play this like really slow. Maybe I'll do it at like half speed rather than play pause. So Shotaway cannot get towards Toy. That's number one. Number two, Lucky just immediately goes down. Number three, DT survives. Jacob gets another flash. That's incredible. Like, Jacob is so good at calling for these flashes. So I was lucky to play with Jacob for a while, and Jacob as spy will call for a flash because it's like if you can sort of be that thorn in their side during an Uber and post Uber. Like, again, you make people shoot at you that do 0 damage, and they're not shooting at your other teammates. They're not putting themselves in better positions. So Jacob is somehow, like, I don't even know how he has rockets still loaded, going for Toy and is the only one in. But I believe Melon is still here. No, Melon is not with the medic. Okay. It's still a fine play. But, yeah, Eerie gets the pick. Blank, yeah, it's a desperate play here. I really don't get this. I don't think that play came from Shotaway, or maybe the play was like Bull saying, hey, Shotaway, look for a time for the ad, and then Shotaway saying, I'm found, and then the team saying, like, all right, screw it, let's just go. I'm really confused. Or maybe they knew that Melon was not near Toy, and Jacob said, I'm going to sync bomb onto the medic, and I can get it with no pyro, but this felt like a very strange play to me. And I'm glad I said this, again, before the play, because, you know, it's so easy for me to wait until now and be like, oh, this didn't work, so that means it was a bad play. Not the case. I think it was a bad play before it happened, which is the situation you find yourselves in during the game. So, yeah, real head-scratcher. Any Goonman, CHUBBZ, Daniel players in the chat, please let us know what this one was about. Just kidding, this is not live stream. Very weird. Yeah, I still don't see it. Do you remember that? Like, that's why, again, I took that whole time to preface saying, this is suffocating if you're Witness Gaming. You have to be so desperate to find a way in the game because it's going to take almost a miracle for the CHUBBZ team to throw away their ad for really nothing in exchange, or like without a motivation for something in exchange, that's a miracle. Great. We take those. Yeah, there's always, I think, a big difference between you outplaying your opponent versus your opponent, like, just messing up, you know? So Witness Gaming needed to do something desperately here, and instead, the Gooman CHUBBZ Daniel team here just messed up. Tough one. Again, it happens. It's not like, oh no, they definitely shouldn't have done that. Probably they had some motivation. It wasn't the worst idea, I'm sure, but we can see how they're really paying the price for it now. So now, by the way, there's a huge... Ooh, this is really exciting. I'm going to go back to that slow speed just while I zoom back in a little bit. This is a very exciting one for... now, Witness Gaming... Oh, what the heck? What have I done? Okay, sorry about that. I'll slowly work my way back towards point. Let me describe it first. You could have seen from when we paused. All right, you'll be fine. You're an adult. So Witness Gaming went for the forward hold here. They said, like, we want to press our advantage, basically. Lock out the enemy team before they have a chance, and give our sniper basically the entire map of a sight line. So I like that Witness Gaming is, again, going for the throat here. We have a lot of the clock to make up for, right? Again, basically there's like a minute left for CHUBBZ, and there's 3 minutes left for Witness Gaming, so we have to hold for a long time. Like, we can't just get a decent advantage. We have to convert it into we have to play greedy because we need so much out of this hold. That, again, it's like a high-risk, high-reward play that they should be making, and they do. Now, basically, in response, Team CHUBBZ said, we're just going to throw all of our players at this. We spawned so quickly and so close here that we should sack into them and, again, try and trade whatever we can from our side in exchange for whoever we can pick off their side. Now, this is a really cool play. Please go back and watch it before I just yeeted myself out of the map. In response, Ether did this like double high bomb over the high ground and then landed with all of the explosive sync rockets into main here. So that means that the enemy didn't have really an opportunity to prepare for it, and these rockets are just getting eaten by everybody. Like, Carson doesn't have time to reflect them. He doesn't know that there was a double sky bomb, like double high bomb sync landing in the opening of tunnel at that point. And again, losing Ether for the sake of getting, 100 damage on 5 players is super worth it here. Especially because Ether has a fast respawn compared to, like, if we lose Eerie in a forward hold, he's gone for 35 seconds, to spawn and walk all the way. If we lose Ether, it's half that. Just the respawn timer and then a couple seconds after. So, yeah, great play out of Ether there. Now I'm going to keep working my way back because this also was really fast, I think, out of CHUBBZ. Like, they knew... Yeah, Shotaway's here. Okay, so Shotaway was in position this whole time and knew they were going for this forward hold. Wow, I think without that bomb from Ether, they get 3 picks instead of 5. Ooh, we have a play from Shotaway now. It's actually a little bit late. We kind of wanted Shotaway to commit at the same time, but then again, he had to come from Bathhouse, so... Yep, great find out of Melon and Rebel. Fantastic. So this is sort of everything that Witness Gaming needed. Do you remember I said before? Witness Gaming needs to not just hold the point and have their advantage. They need to get greedy, even though they already have had. They need to get so greedy that they turn this hold into a very long hold. Because, again, the clocks are so strongly favoring Team CHUBBZ right now. So, great play out of Witness Gaming. This is everything you could hope for. We win the fight, get aggressive in the forward, then win the forward hold. Now we're coming up on Ubers, and again, there's this like principle, like, I don't know, the freaking art of war for Highlander. If an Uber exchange happens, it must be while your team controls the point. So, losing Toy or like having Blake get the point and have Uber would be catastrophic. Now Blake has to use the Uber to even get towards point. So you're really happy about that if you're Witness Gaming. Oh, and I love this play from Eerie. I remember mentioning this during the cast. On the Tomislav, so you can't hear him, revved up. And he's like, again, such a thorn in the side. I mentioned that it's really bad for Eerie to die, but he can almost guarantee a pick from here. Or even if he doesn't get a pick, the enemy has to sink so much damage into him with like the Fist of Steel and his full health pool. All that's happening while the rest of the team can adjust and spam and stuff like that. So Eerie made such a heads-up call to get in this really weird spot, which again is a high risk, high reward. Like, losing me here is bad. But no matter what, I'll get at least information or damage onto someone or pull their attention for a long time, or I get the pick. Like, so imagine you're flank heavy getting a pick onto the enemy sniper, like from full to empty. That's huge. So like you can see here again, there's so many upsides to Erie's play that the downsides are all worth it. Like even if Erie dies doing 0 damage, they get so much out of it. Everything else is a bonus. So again, finding that opportunity as a player is what brings you to the highest level. And man, I love Erie, especially on this Witness Gaming team. Yeah, so now he dies for it, but who cares? Wow. Yeah. Gets like a surprising amount of damage. But losing Fish, I actually think is really bad. I think Fish, you just bait Erie. Let him go. Because having Fish here in the long term, right, calling to the rest of the team what the enemy's doing is so valuable. I say just bait Erie, let him die. Maybe Fish did. Maybe he got found by accident or something. I'm not sure. That's a tough one. I was like, wow, this is amazing in every way, but I do think Fish going in there was not that worth. Again, maybe I missed something. Maybe like, yeah, I wish I could go back, but I really don't want to deal with the demo bugs. Wow, Toy getting forced here actually. Nice shots out of Bowl, but again, this feels kind of tough. Like Witness Gaming has all the high ground still. These Ubers will exchange, and then we'll have a post, and then like hopefully Lenny can look for a pick, and then we start walking towards point and start capping. But the clock's going to be almost even out, even if everything goes right for CHUBBZ, right? So that's why I said like if you're exchanging Ubers, it must be while our team controls the point. This is interesting. Anyway, so again, we now note that like the Ubers were exchanged when the clock's at about 2:05-ish for Witness Gaming, which again is huge. That's a whole minute off the clock thanks to that one forward hold. But okay, going just your combo into Bathhouse to hard clear it, this is interesting. Wow, they use that tail end of the Uber to hard clear Bath and then leave all together as a unit. Great calling out of Bowl of like where, like what the point is out of this Uber and where we're looking to end up. So like Blake is perfectly healthy, Bull's full HP, full buff. Pablo is here on point with full HP as well, full buff as well. Wait a second. This is suddenly very interesting. And they actually can kind of make that play because of all the damage they got into Toy, that like they know that Toy is still not going to be ready to refight here in post. So they get to play a little greedier. Now they know also that they cleared the spot for Jacob. Yeah, I mean, great play out of Witness Gaming too. Like all of these Bathhouse players, like let's all just leave. Don't feed during the Uber. Again, make them think it's safe and go back in. This shot from Lenny I think is great, but he gets one, and that's it. Yep, not even one. Wow. Yeah, great play out of Ether and everyone from Bathhouse. You know, Rebel too. Like everyone just kind of managing the, like, let's all the way give up Bathhouse and tell our combo that we lost it, and then all go back in and win it. And then for the rest of Witness Game, we got to play on the ground. Like, let's just keep Toy safe. Fish, again, is a huge player in this one. Like, for Fish to be going in now, a spy at this level is only going to go in now if they see, like, an enormously valuable pick or if they've done everything they need to do. Like, Fish now is recognizing, well, I helped call this for my team so effectively that I can just contribute in a different way. Like, there's not much more for me to do as a spy player. Oh, this is excellent. Wow, Witness Gaming wins this hard. Has not really add. And they're down still so many, like, for Bowl to be a late spawner here is tough. Let's see, Fish again calling from the sidelines. This hold does not work, basically, if Fish isn't here, or it's a lot harder to make it work. It's like a gamble, like, we hope this will be good, versus with Fish calling that Lenny is taking this wide angle. Now it's fantastic. Mujet will have this hard scoped, and boop, there it is. Looking for Lenny on the shorter angle that Fish is calling. Now, again, wait, where did Mujet go? Yeah, backing up for the longer angle, too. So this little trio here is taking this ground. They're basically saying too, they're doing the right stuff of like we need Lenny to be on this long angle and take these pot shots at the same time that our players are sacking. So let's see. Lenny scoped in. Oh, Carson and Bowl don't even get close actually. Yeah, they took too much too fast. Lenny doesn't get anything. Such good forward hold here. So Jacob and Shotaway being behind and decloaking early is really interesting because the comms from Witness are now going to be around these players. And, you know, imagine a world where you have all 9 of your players focus on the enemies. Instead, you have to have some of your players focus behind, some focus on this dance floor, and some focused in tunnel. Suddenly, this feels a lot worse if you're Witness Gaming. Like, they get shot away, but don't get Jacob. Uber is exchanged. Totally stuffed by Melon, but Lenny is still here. So the rest of Witness Gaming now has to leave. Normally you would take this exchange and like kind of duck out in bathhouse for a couple seconds and then just repeat, but Witness Gaming actually has to back way up and they lose Melon for it too. Very nice play out of Ether to go for Lenny. Oh my god, 1 HP. Wow. Yeah, getting Lenny here is massive. They actually lost Toy to Jacob. Yeah, see, that's what happens if you, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So Jacob is forcing them to make that decision. Like, either go for me so that you're safe, but my teammates can collapse while you're distracted, or if you don't go for me, I'll just pick your medic. So, yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And now getting absolutely mulched. Witness Gaming, like, yeah, without your heals. They were kind of split between these two places, but again, Jacob being that person, like, again, from that spy area to call around, like, hey, I have vision. I can orchestrate a play here. I'm going to go for this person and be the initiator, the catalyst, like the thing that makes this all happen. The rest of you just need to follow up, and it's almost a guarantee. So this is the type of play where it's great to see Jacob calling them into the combo. So, but now, like, look at how much these clocks are evened up, by the way. I mentioned before, CHUBBZ had a minute on the clock. Witness Gaming had 3 minutes to go down. Witness Gaming got it and held for 2.5 minutes. That is incredible. Even though Witness Gaming lost this forward hold, it took them a whole, like, 40 seconds to lose the forward hold. So, again, like, even if, like, 40 seconds is how long it takes to get an Uber. So, I always find it tough when players, again, at the middle of invite and lower, are like, no, we shouldn't go for a forward hold. We don't have the Uber for this, or, like, we don't have all of the things that make a forward hold good. That's still fine, because how bad is it if we succeed? Oh, we lose this forward hold, but it takes 40 seconds to lose. That's great. Go for it. Like, we lost our medic, and we lost the forward hold, and we got 40 seconds in exchange. Phenomenal. Great. We take those. This actually is tough. Again, like, talking about waiting for Uber if you're Witness Gaming. Waiting for Uber means basically you're capping it overtime, and then you have to hold the point for the rest of the round. That is an uphill battle. Yeah, so the Hood player is kind of like interesting. They're sort of like poking and prodding, like, we'll put damage into them to kind of dissuade them, but then we'll back up to try and stay alive. They lose Bowl for it, so now they're a lot more passive, but yeah, kind of greedy out of blank. But again, it's necessary. How was... I saw before the Toy had a slight advantage, but it seems like maybe Blake is building too poorly. This is where I mentioned before that, like, ooh, having disadd by the short amount, by the small amount, can be really bad on a Koth map here. So Toy, I think, doesn't know it, but they have huge ad here. And if they had taken it right away, like, again, just scream to blank, we're using on point. Now it's too late. They let Blake get to the rest of the team. Huh. Yeah, Blake just built poorly. If Toy had been holding right click, ready to go, again, having that, like, playing to win the round is the way I like to describe it. They actually had to stand a real big chance, like, you know, spam Bull on the way back in. He doesn't get heals from Blake. We catch Blake out early on before letting them regroup as a team. Like, we don't want to let Jacob have this comfortable bomb. Lenny on the angle, honestly revved up by the medic. Yeah, so they do actually manage to catch a Bull on the rollout still. Yeah, wow. So now they let Blake have this advantage, though. Like, this is where I mentioned before, yeah, that, like, if Toy had held right click and used that Uber as soon as they got it and tried to stuff out the CHUBBZ team, Blake has a long way. Even if they don't get Blake, they still have enough time to find Blake later, or at least to choreograph, like, to call out his choreographed Uber, because Blake still has to build. Because Blake was building so poorly, and because Toy wasn't ready to go yet, like, and the rest of the team, not just Toy, obviously, like the rest of Witness Gaming, sorry, because Witness Gaming wasn't, like, pedal to the metal, ready to use the super as soon as they got it, they kind of gave Blake enough of a grace period to build his own Uber. Now they're taking this added. They don't even need anyone. Wow, Blake gets shoved like crazy. Pablo's at a 1v5 and still winning it. They flash shot away. Or I don't know if they got a flash and shot away. They might have. But, like, yeah, everyone is too hurt in this post. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I think that would have been so good for Witness Gaming if they had used this Uber just a bit sooner. Wow. Yeah. Again, we talk about how many things in a row they did right. There was like 30 things in a row they did right. And it still comes down to it at that last second. So, yeah, takeaways for that round. Let me get back in the skybox here. Takeaways for that round. That mid was so interesting to watch, right? Like, both teams had a great playbook and great individual stars, great follow through and adjustments. And in that final 3v3, it was a call from Pablo to hard win it, you know, in a scout medic and something versus a sniper, pyro, medic. Yeah, basically that last second call from Pablo saying, I can win this, follow me. And then Blake peeking into the sniper to hard win that mid. Super cool call. But again, that was like the 70th call out of that mid, and that was the one that won it. So it's incredible for them to stay so neck and neck and make so many correct decisions on both sides. Second takeaway, once the CHUBBZ team had held for so long, Witness Gaming was desperate back in the round. CHUBBZ happened to make a mistake I don't think they needed to make. I'm really curious why they did. And then once Witness Gaming got the point, they needed to get so greedy and hold for a long time, and they did. They managed to hold for 2.5 minutes straight. They did a forward hold, got shoved off it, managed to recontest and get back in the forward hold without losing the cap, and then, or maybe they did lose it for a short amount of time. But then they managed to get back in position again, having these linchpins across the map, managing the map control, having Ether double bomb the tunnel to stuff the sack, everything. Like they played phenomenally there. I think just at the last second, they needed to have that bloodlust of we need to go fast and win now, even if it's dubious, just because you never know if the medic is building poorly. I mean, they didn't have Fish in position to call. I think it's always a bad thing to hold on to your Uber. There's a statistic that how long did you hold on to your Uber before using? I think it would be so much more interesting if it excluded times that you had a very clear ad, right? I think in a time where neither medic has Uber, then Toy gets it and then held it for 6 or 7 seconds again to choreograph, let the other team react. They basically allowed Blake to get in the safe spot, and they allowed the spawners to come into position, and they allowed everyone to get buffs and play get healthier for the follow through there. So it's ooh, if Witness Gaming didn't gift them all this time, this would be a very different round. So it's one of those things they couldn't have known how good it was to use that ad, but that's why you almost want to gamble for it anyway. So yeah, obviously great play out of CHUBBZ for coming back into that one. What's a split this time? Let's see. Funny, yeah, this time we have, I want to see actually which way Fish goes. Fish is decloaked. I want to read his disguised as. But okay, Fish now, again, saying we want to kind of hard win main here. They haven't been contributing a lot of plays. Usually, I guess last round they did more. But yeah, Fish saying I'm going to just be a fragging class and let us win based off that. Cool play. Maybe a Deadbringer play, I don't know. Jacob going for that very early double bomb. Yeah, we have sort of Carson ready to defend against an early bomb onto Bull. Bull playing off beam. Blake saying, I'm going to buff my Bathhouse players and give them a better chance to win it. Here, Toy saying, I'm going to not let my Bathhouse players have better heals, but I'm going to have my combo, either win in the short term, hopefully, if there's a low amount of players, or have a better chance of winning in the long term by having just a higher health pool in general. Comes Jacob. Really nice movement. Fish, again, running in a straight line at the enemy team. So Fish basically did what Jacob did. And I mean, yeah, Jacob being a spy player himself. Both of them recognizing if I can go straight in and make a ton of noise, my team can work off that. Big difference here. Number one, even though Blake sank the heals into Bathhouse, honestly was the first pick. Erie's still fine. The rest of the players are full. Shotaway and Lucky are not going to do anything here. So basically, Bathhouse is a hard win for Witness Gaming, number one. Number two, Fish goes in and does Deadbringer or whatever else. I think I heard the Spicicle. But in any case, Fish goes in, does the same play as Jacob, but survives, whereas Jacob doesn't. So again, a difference between Jacob could have maybe gotten a pick that Fish can't get, but Fish can live what Jacob can't live. So it's an interesting trade of who is our initiator on these mids. It could be either. Teams are who should be the person to do this thing? It's there's pros and cons to both. See what your team responds well to. See what your players are, where their skills are suited, right? But okay, so this mid now feels very good for Witness Gaming, right? The health is great in the combo. I mean, it's okay. It's not fantastic, but it's good. Bathhouse is fully in their control, and Lucky might just be actually a clear pick here. Yeah, he basically goes almost all the way down. He should not even eat heals from Blake. If he calls for Blake, that's a bad idea, because Blake has to heal Bull and Lenny and Carson, everyone here. So this feels like a very... Oh, Shotaway is even found so early. Fish is now alive and spamming this combo. This is an enormous win for Witness Gaming. And I think a huge adjustment, right? Before, when Jacob was the initiator and Witness Gaming reacted, CHUBBZ did so much with that. Now they're saying we should have Fish be our initiator and we, basically meet them for it. the difference maker here was that the Witness Gaming players won Bathhouse without a buff. But then again, they had more of them, right? They had Melon, Mujet, Ether, Eerie. So 4 players contesting Bathhouse versus, I think it was only 3, right? It was Honesty. Oh, because Jacob bombed, right. So it was just Honesty, Lucky, and Shot Away, who, like, most was probably cloaked anyway. Well, so basically Witness Gaming saying, we're going to send more players in. They're not going to have the health, but there's more of them. And then everyone else on point is going to follow Fish's initiation. Ow. Sorry, I made you look at the sun. Very cool mid. I love this out of Witness Gaming, and like this is what we always hope for, I think, as commentators too. Please, Witness Gaming, like the mids were good, but like you need a way back in this game. You need to have a great start to the round. Can you construct something like that based on what you've seen so far? And so for them to have like, yeah, some of the greatest minds in Highlander here. And Witness Gaming does so much homework, like so much team play and chemistry and coordination, studying the enemy tapes, you know. So if there's anyone who would craft like a genius recreation into this, it's players like Fish and Melon and DT, and I mean, really everyone chimes in. Rebel is fantastic in those types of discussions too. Like it really is a whole team, like, you know, their whole system they built together, but I think it's awesome to see how they structure their way back into a losing match, right? Don't forget the score is 0-2 right now. Witness Gaming is 0. Koonman and CHUBBZ Daniel 2. But yeah, this is sick, right? Like Fish even spamming them out so no one can leave this side. Turning their attention so that Mujet can walk forward and get a snipe onto the demo man of all classes. So yeah, they hard win this mid. Really nice play.
The control point is being contested.
Let's get a little deeper in the action here and see what it sort of feels like for them. Great, so DT... DT goes way away from the medic to say we should be forward holding. I don't know if maybe someone on the team said no, we shouldn't, or what, or maybe they were waiting for an escort from blank. No, weird. Okay, the team just wasn't super coordinated, but this is actually pretty bad. Like the health now is not good. DT's health is not great. The spawners are already in position. Like honestly, is revved and shooting in main. Shotaway is here with the eyes calling where everyone is on ruins. This. I think it would have been a fine forward hold if they called for it immediately. It would have been scrappy, like, but I think having, basically we would have seen the same people in the same places, but with a higher health pool on Witness Gaming. Now, they didn't make up their mind fast enough of what the follow through was for that mid, and so this feels more dubious. You can even see some of the Witness Gaming players holding kind of too far back. Okay, even Ubers, it does settle out. There was a weird opening for CHUBBZ to shove through main with their Uber, and then wait for your spawners. Like, again, try and trade everything, work fast. I think that was a right play for CHUBBZ, actually. Say, like, let's just go. Their health is bad, and, you know, our players are kind of decently set up elsewhere. Shotaway's in. Yeah. I wish they actually just called for the collapse. Exchange here and have a pretty good post-fight. Something you'll hear me talk about a lot is choreographing your play. So if CHUBBZ went right away and just said, screw it, explode everything, and then let the dust settle, and we'll use our better spawns to win in post. Number one, that play happens 10 seconds earlier. Number two, you can see how good of a follow-up we have, because our spawns are better, and their health is not good, and they don't have time to adjust. Like, so it's just like, whatever you're wearing, waking up is what you're wearing. Like, the fire alarm goes off and you're in your pajamas, you've got to get outside. Sorry. You don't have time to get your ass put on, your makeup, all that. So, bye... Koonman, CHUBBZ Daniel, backing up here. They're choreographing the play, right? Now, Toy can say, ooh, who needs buffs on my team? DT can say, actually, they're gone right now. Let me set up a trap. Mujet can say, great, we know that Lenny is backing up here thanks to Fish's call. I can now take a shot into the combo instead of having to counter the sniper. So it's a little bit good for CHUBBZ to back up and have their whole team as a group. Let's say, we take the 10 seconds to back up, go tunnel, and exchange from there instead. That 10 seconds is a lot better for Witness Gaming than it is for CHUBBZ. I think this is not the right play. I think it is risky to go right away and just say, screw it, exchange. But I think that level of risk is warranted here because, again, taking the 10 seconds to back up, go back in, much better for Witness Gaming than it is for CHUBBZ. It's one of those things, like, if you say, oh, we have like a 60% chance of winning this fight here. If we back up and regroup ourselves, then we get like a higher percent chance of winning here. But that's just in isolation. Really, for, again, Witness Gaming, it's like whatever odds they got to win the round are actually a lot higher, but you weren't able to account for that given, again, what you were working with. So it's just tough to say. Like, obviously, that's not how percentages work, but, like, you're able to say, like, oh, wow, if we get a little bit more coordinated, being more coordinated is good. In that same time, Witness gets a lot more coordinated, right? I said this is a bad play from them, and it can be abused. CHUBBZ here opted not to abuse it, and they said, you know what, we'll give you the amount of time to fix your mistake. So we don't want to give those gifts to the enemy team, especially on a fast-paced Koth map, right? Uber does come out, exchanged. Yeah, Fish actually getting caught out here is pretty rough. Lenny now getting on the long angle as a result. Shadow getting caught out too early. Very middling so far. A bit better, I think, for CHUBBZ just because they got this dance floor presence with Lenny. But hey, that's great play out of them, where they're like, send Lenny away from our combo. We want a sniper on the long angle, our combo on the close range combat, so that if one of them works, the other one can capitalize. Right? Like, great, our combo failed, but our flank succeeded. Now we have this whole base setup. Look at how blue it is in this area of the map. Then now Witness Gaming has to back up. Ooh, very nice pick from Fish. That is like, yeah. Huh. That is like almost risky. Like, if I'm Blake, I don't think Fish would be going for this type of a play, right? Like, if I'm Fish, I want to be saying everything that's going on here. And Fish did die a little bit early, so Fish is a spawner too. So it's like, if Fish is going to do anything with his spawn timer, he wants to get in a good position to call around his team. Instead, Fish, being such a good player, I really love Fish on Spy. He's like, you know what? Forget it. Like, I'm not going to follow the textbook. I'm going to go for this risky play. If it works, that's fantastic for my team. If it fails, that's terrible for my team. But it's like the odds of, like, you know, the expected value, right? Like the odds of it working now, like Blake was just not ready. Blake didn't have teammates around. Oh, actually, sorry. He got a, oh, geez, that's a pick on a Carson. Sorry. Mujet gets a pick on a Blake. Again, both pick classes going for them in this situation, I think is a head scratcher. Like, that's a weird choice. But again, that's what it looks like to play at the top level here. They're like, we're going to go for Blake. How much did Blake have when he died? Does it say? Or am I too early? No. Weird. Awesome play out of Fish and Mujet. I'm really happy to see a play like that. Wow, he actually gets Lenny too. That's insane. And another pick from Mujet. So, yeah, this is just strongly winning for Witness Gaming. Everyone on CHUBBZ is now selling out. Bull's like, screw it, I'm just going to go die. Pablo too, yep. Okay, Bull opts not to die itself, like, exactly, but... Wow. Very good play. Like, you know, this is, again, an adjustment, right? I have this issue, too, with teams where they're like, well, we're losing this match, so what we need to do is just play more discipline and follow more of the textbook. That's not the case a lot of the time. You need to get riskier, get creative, right? Do something weirder. Like, what you've already tried isn't working. You have to try something new. So for Fish to say, like, I'm going to ignore all of this value I can give to my team, and I'm going to go just straight for a high-value pick instead, that's a really interesting play. Now Witness Gaming working for, oh, God. Lenny being the first one out the door here. I'm full clench if I'm Witness Gaming. Okay, fast play. They do get the force. I think this is fine for Witness Gaming, actually. I would personally call this as well. I would say, like, I have this ad. We're late to this forward hold. Like, you want to stuff them before they get into the tunnel, not after, right? So basically, CHUBBZ was through the tunnel when Witness Gaming got here. That's not great. Because, like, they're basically at your medic when your medic is here with this ad. So we'll probably lose it if we get forced. So, like, we give them a great opportunity to force us. I would still call this. Again, I think this is, like, a play, like, let's get greedy. Let's play to win. And let's, like, cement this win as best we can. Again, high risk, high reward. Let's try and, you know, be active and keep the match in our control rather than giving the flow up to the enemy to dictate, right? So a tough call to make for Witness Gaming. Their bluff got called and they got forced with the super. Now they have disad. But hey, now we have disad, but still we're in a great map control. Like, imagine if we had ad, but the enemy team was spread out across the high ground. So, like, again, it's like, even if we do get forced here, it's still pretty good. So, yeah, I love the way that we're trading this, like, you know, some gains and some losses. Yeah, this is nuts. Like, even though Blake is here, like, there's not really a lot for him to do until he gets Uber. Yeah, this is something that teams, again, don't understand. It's like, hooray, Blake has Uber. We can capitalize on it. In 35 seconds from now, we can start the exchange that takes 10 seconds, then a post that takes 10 seconds, and a point cap that takes 10 seconds. So, like, hooray, Blake has ad, which means that in 1 minute from now, we will probably get the point. But that is, like, almost worthless. That's an eternity in Highlander. And that's 1/3 of the entire round that we're in the driver's seat, but we can't do anything with it. So that's why, like, again, I think this is a good call from Witness Gaming. It is so hard for Blake to do something good out of, even if Toy gets forced here. So, awesome call from Witness Gaming. Go back and, like, think through why I said this is a risky play, but a good one. I think you'll see, like, at the setup time, why it was so valuable. And again, please, as a team, like, make these calls. Like, if your main caller says, let's do this crazy aggressive thing, that doesn't make a ton of sense. And then, of course, someone on your team is like, no, we shouldn't do that because there'll already be a tunnel by that time. It's still good to be the initiators. It's still good to create these trade-offs of, like, we're going to take a risk, but even if we lose it, there's still something valuable for us in exchange. You know, trust your teammates to make these aggressive plays more often than not. See, Blake now is on 85, but, like, Witness Gaming now gets to, like, oh, we backed all the way up, we found shot away. Like, they don't have a spy now to call this ad play. That is horrible. Also, Blake, his teammates aren't really taking any damage. Blake is building so bad. Blake had 40 ad that now is less than 20. That's so bad. Like, Witness Gaming is, yeah, just about to be even Ubers. Like, Blake couldn't even find a way in with his Uber with the team. Again, not saying that, like, these Ubers are up to the medics. It's a team decision of when and how to take these Ubers. So, like, please, if I say something about what the medics are doing or not doing, I will make very clear if it's their decision-making or if it's a team, I'll make clear if it's their decision-making. Otherwise, please assume it's the team. So, again, Blake individually playing great. But for the team to, like, not find this way back in, it's like, oh, now Witness Gaming, again, had all this time, like, with a choreographed play out of CHUBBZ. It's like, well, great. They're going to, you know, recoup their spawns, get their buffs, and then come in with Uber. But, like, right now, again, Toy's on 90, and Blake still hasn't used. So, Toy coming up on this even one, like, this all stems from them getting too aggressive in a forward hold that wasn't, like, that was a risky play, and it failed, and here's how good it was for them to fail. I love this play. Like, if you've made it this far in the video, I am so happy that you're watching this. So, great exchange. Oh, and this is like a rogue special. This is one of those types of plays that I love to call. So, when we're in an exchange, like, the thing about an exchange is you're not really going to get anything out of it, right? Like, it's just, like, doing 0 damage versus 0 damage. Like, when a stoppable force meets a movable object. So, in this case, what we saw is Witness Gaming took the exchange on point and said, like, yep, you can't have this ground. We're going to shove you off the point, or at least whoever's supplementary to the exchange. Then we're going to hard clear bathhouse so that, like, wow, we have this, what's the word, like a outpost, like a night outpost in chess. Like, we can't really be uprooted from this position. And now we can rotate through main, or we can contest from bathhouse. If you're on CHUBBZ, you have nothing to show for it. So basically using the second half of your Uber to hard clear flank or hard clear some other map control is brilliant. I love making this play. So now let's see what happens. Like, the flank, like, Melon is still here. Fish is still up here. The combo now, DT and Toy are down here. I do think losing Blank there was a really weird one. Like, yes, he got the heavy, but I don't think that's worth in a post like this. But hey, basically now we have the enemy team completely corralled on point. Wow, it really is such a big difference. I think if they don't lose Blank there, this all goes how I had anticipated. But hey, okay, we lost Blank. But look at how good they got Lenny. They got Lenny with DT. Like, your demo man is close enough to the sniper to do that damage. And now there's 4 up. So, okay, we lost the point. My bad. But it's only, you can see, like 20-ish seconds on the clock for CHUBBZ to get in this time. So, really not that bad. Oh, wait, why are they not capping? Weird one. Okay. It should have been 25 seconds, but it was a bit longer. Now they let Jacob in position. I think Witness Game we should have beelined for the point. Stack it now before they get their spawners and their coordination together. Huh. I really think this is such a different round if Blank manages to catch back up with the rest of the crew on, like, the safe side of Bathhouse where you can go through or around. Yeah, this would have been one harder and sooner. Oh my god. Pictures taken moments before disaster. the airstrike. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is great out of CHUBBZ. They're like, why didn't they cap? Oh my god, hard defeat for this. Because, again, if you're CHUBBZ, either we lose the point, but now Mujet is such a late spawn, Fish and Eerie are late spawns, or we actually just win this hard commit and we never give up the point. So let's see what happens. Yeah, now Witness Gaming lost their control of Bathhouse. Nice play out of Bather. Whoa. Okay, Blank is back in the mix. This now wins pretty hard. But wait, we can't get the beam on Blank. Oh my god. This is crazy. So again, a great sellout. Like, sure, risk Blake's life. Let Bolin Pablo go down, sure. But again, we cannot give up this point if we're CHUBBZ. So it is weird that Witness Gaming, again, like, said, like, hey, CHUBBZ, you want to come back in and contest the point? Sure, no problem. I keep nitpicking these moments where, like, a team will choreograph and give the enemy team a 10 seconds, where it's way better for the enemy team to have those 10 seconds than for your team to have those 10 seconds. I think Witness Gaming did not play this super well, and what should have been 20 seconds is now turning into almost a minute on the clock for... oh, God. I'll try and be quick to the draw here. Yeah. Anyway, super dubious play, I think. Like, Witness Gaming should have played a lot faster into this one. Like, now they have had, but Toy's so hurt. Yeah, I think they should have, number one, kept Blank as part of the combo. Number two, fast contest, like, stack the point now, and then, like, hold this ground. Because they didn't do both of those things, again, even one of them is fine. But because they didn't do both, now they gave up a whole minute to the enemy team, and Toy is very hurt. Like, again, it's still winning. Like, this is how good of a play that was to hard to clear flank and post. That, like, even if you fail catastrophically, it's still really good. Like, you get the point in 50 seconds instead of 25. But, like, that was, like, so free to me as a spectator anyway. I don't know how Rebel got that. That's funny. Mini on the enemy ruins here is tough. Okay, nice ad for Toy. 10 seconds on the clock. Yeah, this is a tough one. Yeah, they just use right away. So much HP. Eerie now peeks wide across point. Yeah, Fish goes ballistic here. Wow, so takeaways. Number one, Witness Gaming going for... Oh, sorry. Blake got Uber here. I'll, yeah, let it play out. But again, this is too losing. Like, for Eerie to still have a buff now, it just faded a second ago. That's insane. Amazing play from Eerie. This actually becomes significantly worse if he does not lock out this part of the map. That's another great person in this one, by the way. If you, like, want to go back and watch Jacob's POV, watch Toy's POV, watch Eerie's POV. Is there anyone else that stands out? Like, again, for any players that play these classes. Oh my god, Fish. Please, any spy players. Yeah. If, like, I say this is free because Eerie's here. If Eerie's not here, their team stands to lose this. Like, the odds go down by, like, double-digit percentage. Like, your odds of winning go down by, like, 10 or 20% if Eerie is not exactly in this position the entire time. So, again, an amazing heads-up play. That really makes it so free for the follow-up here. So, great takeaways here. Number one, amazing mid-fight from Witness Gaming. If you want to go back, that's a great one to watch. Number two, they made a risky play to get aggressive fast when it wasn't clear, but that's the time they denied that 10 seconds, right? It would have been good for Witness Gaming to take 10 seconds and collect themselves here. No, they said, screw it, just go. And CHUBBZ had to meet them here. Instead, CHUBBZ gave Witness the 10 seconds, and Witness even failed it, but it was so good for Witness, again, to have that amount of time to choreograph and to take those risky plays fast. It was, again, a little bit dubious, I think, for Witness to, like, split up and not have that clear call between, like, Blank and DT of where to end up post-Uber. Great call from them to clear Bath, and then you have either avenue back into point. And then we can see just how winning that was for the rest of the round because CHUBBZ couldn't find their way back in. And then for Eerie to lock out this part of the map was, like, the nail in the coffin. Very cool. Scores 2-1. So 2 points for Goon Man CHUBBZ Daniel. And just one for Witness Gaming here. Okay. Oh, I'm not in the middle of mid. Whoops. So Fish going the long side this time. Shot away as well. So 2-ish for Witness Gaming. And actually they did do the same kind of play actually that Bleak has been doing most of these. So basically Toy gave a lot of heals to the flankers here. So you see Eerie full buff, Ether full buff, Millen full buff. They're ready for Bathhouse. Mujet basically full buff. Going to meet DT. So basically Witness Gaming right now is doing the CHUBBZ mid, like the default mid for CHUBBZ. CHUBBZ is attacking everyone here, saying we are giving up Bathhouse. We are going to win point hard, and then we'll deal with Bathhouse later. So let's see. Jacob's the initiator. No initiator so far for Witness Gaming. Like no instant initiator anyway for Witness Gaming. So let's see what they do with Jacob's turning heads. Oh my God, Toy going down to 14. Okay, let's see. And as Toy is down to 14, oh my God, these Bathhouse players can't even move forward because they have to look at Jacob. Rebel's looking backwards. DT and Blank are looking not at point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players for CHUBBZ get to charge across point free with 0 damage. Bull is 100 HP and going. Bam. Look at this mid. Fish is actually a big difference maker here. Ooh. I don't think Lenny should be moving forward here, actually. Like, Lenny could just, again, hard win this, like, peek across, like, towards the enemy ruins, spam anyone who peeks out. But, like, DT is getting annihilated here. Toy, I mean, kind of has to leave. Or, like, if you stay, it's so risky. I mean, like, okay. Personally, I might stay and say, screw it. I'm going to trade my life for a hope that we get back in this mid. I'm probably making the wrong play there myself if it were me. Very tough. Point is, I think CHUBBZ is in the driving seat here. Lenny dropping down from the dance floor I think is not great. Fish is doing the right thing, like just fast commit, see what you can get. Let's see how this plays out. Ooh, nice timing from Blake. Oh, finding the spy timing. Like, he actually, like, yeah, like, rotating around. Blake didn't even find Fish, but just the fact that Blake was spy checking meant that his back wasn't available to Fish. So, I always go through demos with people where I'm like, you need to be spy checking right now, it's spy time. And they're like, yeah, but the spy didn't go for me. And I'm like, I don't care. You have to spy check all the time at the right time. You lose so little and you gain so much that you, like, you may gain from it. And, like, this is another great case. Just the fact that Blake spy check meant Fish can't get the backstab. That's awesome. Lenny, see, like, if here, Lenny just gets a body shot on Fish, and Fish is a solved issue. Right now, someone's going to have to turn around for Fish. Lenny, sure, can get a shot onto these players who are already basically dead, but now he's also peeking into Jet. I don't love the play from Lenny here. I do love the play from Pablo. Again, like, charge forward with shot away onto Blank, who's super hurt. The rest of the team, again, Bull, Carson, Honesty, everyone just launching forward. This is fantastic. Like a clearly winning mid. Oh my God, Honesty. Got launched in, I guess, by one of the sticks or something. Or no, it did jump in. Whatever. That was greedy and needless, but fun. I don't take a lot of points away for something like that. And actually, they got Toy. So, Honesty, whoever was shooting Honesty was not shooting Bull, and Bull got the medic. So, great play out of CHUBBZ. Yeah, I love this for the most part. I think this is, again, like easily an A score. I don't know if Honesty needs to die, but it's still very good. Lenny, I don't think he needed to charge forward, but still very good. Yeah, and basically Jacob is the only real death. Ooh, losing Pablo now. That actually is crazy. How the... What? Nuts. Yeah, Blank is very good. Please go back and watch whatever Blank just did to Pablo. Wow. But okay. Incredible mid from CHUBBZ. And now they have this almost full ad, like 80 ad. This is interesting, too, that CHUBBZ is saying, like, wait, let's back up. Everyone keep Blake alive. If we lose Blake, we're in trouble. Give them Bathhouse. Give Blank this space on point. We must keep Blake alive. We will heal back whatever damage you do to us, and we'll recommit and get this ground. But actually, everyone sells out so fast. Ether's in already. Blank just charges forward. Like, Blank never even thought about what was happening. Does Blake die here? Oh, Blake dies here. Wow. That's incredible out of Witness Gaming. Again, everyone on mid, like, I feel like I've seen, again, a million games where a team, like, will lose Toy here at this point. And teammates will say, like, oh, we shouldn't have lost our medic. Or, like, why aren't you guys doing Blank? Shut up, and go. Our medic dies. Again, if I'm the medic, I'm screaming, find Blake, find Blake. Blake is in their main. Focus Blank. Fish is on Blank. We're on Blank right now. He's in their main. You know, I, as the dead medic, am screaming to my team, calling all these things that my team doesn't have the time for. I want everyone else to focus on their positioning, focus on their focus fire, like, focus on their aim, focus on the 1 or 2 calls that are relevant. I'm going to orchestrate my entire team, like, kill Blake or we lose. Go now. Everyone else shut up. Nothing else matters except fine dining and breathing and killing Blake in this moment. So amazing play. Like, for Blank to somehow, like, freaking run straight through Pablo and then all the way into Blake and get it is incredible. Ether was so fast into this, again, didn't think about it. Eerie person, again, the slowest class. Some heavies will think like, oh, I'm too slow to contribute. Nope. All 9 players. Like, Rebel as engineer put damage into Blake here. fantastic play. Wow. Yeah, Ether diving straight into the pyro, saying screw it. If I can make their pyro look at me instead of someone else, then great. Eerie dies for it, Melvin dies for it. Wow, yeah. Amazing salvage. Unreal salvage. I love this out of Witness Gaming. CHUBBZ really, I think, did everything right. I even mentioned that their call is to back up and save Blake, but they just did such a good job of keeping everyone alive, number one. Number two, losing Pablo to blank is actually insane. Like, I think Blake lives here if Pablo even survives, not even kills blank. But if Pablo just survives and stays with the combo here, I think Blake lives. But because, again, of such a star play out of blank, like, blank won this, like, such low odds play and then converted it into this round-saving, you know, mid-collapse. So mid-fight's still going on, by the way. All of that uphill battle was for the sake of resetting mid. Ooh, Jacob going for an interesting timing here. You might think like, oh, he's feeding, but no, he screamed to the team, please run forward. Pablo's in, Carson is in. They're ahead of their demo. This is another one of those times. Do not give the enemy team 10 seconds. Like, there's actually more like, Witness Gaming's in a better spot with 10 seconds here than CHUBBZ. Jacob recognizes that and goes. This is, again, not a great play from CHUBBZ, but it's a good play. Let's see what happens. Carson, by the way, was such a standout player. Like, Carson on Pyro was doing everything right. Had, like, such a low number of deaths. Amazing reflex. Like, Blake had so few deaths because Carson killed it on Pyro here. Carson is another one of those players to watch one of the VODs back if you're a Pyro player here. But wow. So, yeah. Basically, they feed Carson and Jacob, but they stop Witness Gaming from having enough health to comfortably push this. So, Fish is low HP out of position. DT is low HP, but still contesting. So, Toy's a little bit low. Let me see. Lenny is actually in a great spot as sniper, so they got enough time for the sniper to get set up. Let's see how this pans out. Wow. So, Witness Gaming do win it, but it's not comfortable. And, again, if they would have won it sooner, like, now Jacob and Carson are up anyway. The rest of the team isn't doing anything regardless, so not that bad for Carson and Jacob to both die there. Ooh, Lenny not meeting up with a combo here I think is tough. Like, also, honestly, going back for the pack, maybe should have called that, like, hey, Lenny, I'm not protecting you right now. So, very, like, clever play out of Ether to go for it, but also I think pretty lucky that CHUBBZ just kind of, like, you know, having our sniper alive here is an enormous deal, and, like, kind of the only thing worth doing. Like, the rest of the team responding and meeting for buffs. Like, so keeping your sniper alive is the only valuable thing to do, and they didn't do it, so that's tough. Now Witness gets a free pick on the heavy and a free setup in the forward hold that they would not have gotten otherwise. This is such a good game, man. Fish on the dead ringer here. Calling out this angle. So, yeah, it's great that, again, Fish is calling this for these teams. Like, I hate this fight. Like, you just have to hope your sniper wins, but, like, what if they don't? So, like, here, oh, wow, great play out of Toy, keeping the buff on Mujet. And so, basically, Lenny either hit a headshot, but it wasn't charged enough, or hit a full charge body shot. Mujet does get the full enough charge body shot onto Lenny. That is going to do a lot for Witness Gaming in this round. Crazy play out of Fish, that's so funny. I think it's not a great play, but his dead ringer was popped, or, like, spent, so he just kind of had to go. Ooh, this is greedy from Ether. This is another one of those plays where it's like, if I were looking at the state of the board 5 seconds ago, do I think, you're about to win this, go and have your soldier feed? I would not have made that call. But because Ether is making this, again, it's just causing so much havoc in their calls. Like, Bull now can't rally the team, can't focus on going back in. They have to deal with cleaning up this one player. And, like, realistically, what is Ether going to do, even if he lives for another 10 seconds? Like, the spawners are so far out. Fish is not going to call you in. Like, the soldier-spy combo at the top invite level is, like, the, you know, again, like, kind of orchestration players of, like, your spy calling your soldier or your soldier calling your spy, all that. So I think that was super cool for Ether to go and die off timing, just about a couple seconds off CHUBBZ. Very cool play. Thumbs up from me. Like, again, some people might see that and be like, why did you just feed? Your team is about an Uber exchange. Nope. I give a thumbs up. Nice play. Interesting. See, like, Toy just kind of did the same thing. Like, they got the call Bull used. Toy delayed for 2 seconds and now used. But, like, I would rather be building sooner in the post-Uber. Like, I want to flash everyone right now. Get these Ubers off the board, start building sooner. Because, like, look, Blake now is building way sooner. Nah, okay, it's basically even, yeah. Maybe Blake flash more. It's probably a bigger deal than I'm making out for here, but hey, that's why I'm watching this back. I want to learn just as much as you. I'm like, it's been so fun, I think, to be a student of the game. Like, really, when I started playing TF2, I was in college, like, first semester freshman year, and I, during the day, was watching demos of pro players during lunch, and then would go home and watch team demos at home, and then scrimmage, and then MGE with my team and talk about strats afterwards. And, like, went through that cycle, like, almost every day for a whole year. And, like, it was just so fun studying the game and learning from exposure to matches like this, right? Like, I thought Uber exchanges here weren't as good, or I thought maybe Ether there isn't a play I would think of. Or, sorry, I thought milking wasn't as good here, but actually it was fine. I also thought, like, I wouldn't make the call for Ether to go and feed off timing like that, but actually, it actually works pretty well. Like, you know, Ether's back up in position, good to go. So, anyway, I'm really glad, again, if you've made it this far. I hope you're enjoying this demo, and I hope you're taking as much away from it as I am. Very cool from the flank here, by the way. Like, this is sort of like a middling fight. Losing Eerie and Rebel and Bathhouse is very bad, but for us to clap back and say, like, Ether and Blank and Fish are like, all right, we have to go for something here. Let's try and get back some of this fight on flank. Really nice call. Shotaway and Jacob wreaking absolute mayhem here. What a bow! No way. That arrow from the crossbow shot from Toy onto Ether is unreal. Like, Jacob had such a layup there that now is troublesome. And Blank is here too. That one arrow turns this flank fight from, like, Jacob and Shotaway clearly winning to now Ether and Blank, I think, clearly winning. One arrow changed that entire thing. Huh. And this is actually really cool. Do you remember I mentioned before when if the enemy team only has 1 minute left on the clock, you have 3 minutes left. You have to get desperate. You cannot take time to clear out flanks and stuff like that because you must get the point now and you must hold it for a long time. Witness Gaming are actually really comfortable because they cleared off so much of the clock that, like, sure, Chubb's got the cap here, but, like, you know what? We can have Ether and Blank go back and fight this. We can give them the high ground for a while because, again, we have so much time on the clock. Let's really comfortably go back and win this fight. Then let's group up together as a team because we have the time. Actually, a nice shot from Lenny onto Melon. That does make a big difference here. But, hey, again, no big deal. Wow, I'm a freaking genius, man. I still got it. That fight from Ether and Blank onto Shadowway and Jacob. 2-0, Ether and Blank. Easy win. From that one crossbow. That's so... Like, that feels bad if you're Jacob. That you're like, oh, this is free. Yeah, like, just... We farmed them for free here, and then suddenly it wasn't free anymore. But okay, yeah, again, a really comfortable repush, right? Like, let's back up, get 2 easy picks now thanks to Toy, and then have a 7v5 on point. Great. You have that time as Witness Gaming because the clock is in your favor. So they're playing completely different. Like, forget the textbook. They get to do this set of plays because they are, they have more time on the clock, or, like, you get what I mean. They're less concerned about the time than CHUBBZ is right now. So they go and get the point. Let's see, give it up. And then want to exchange while they have the Ubers. Again, if Uber exchanges are happening, it must be while we control point. So Toy and DT are like, great, let them come in, walk towards point. We're going to exchange, and we're going to let the clock tick in our favor the entire time. Let's see, in post here, yeah, Toy has 5% ad. Milking like this is not as bad as I thought. I'm really glad I got that takeaway. Yeah, super arduous post-fight where, like, again, if you're a Witness Gaming, either you manage to hold them off and you get to keep holding the point, or you do so much of this damage that if you lose the point, you can sell out and dive into them here. Great play from Jacob, that one rocket finishing DT. Now Toy's too hurt to continue. Yeah, Toy actually should, I think, play to die here. This is interesting how Ether is going for a lot of these plays that Jacob is going for, but CHUBBZ is playing so much more as a group. That, like, which, again, is not the right or wrong thing. They're playing, like, to keep Blake alive. And Blake is very much like the rock of the team, right? That they always expect Blake to have those heals, and Bull is a player who plays to stay alive. Witness Gaming is saying, like, hey, we're going to feed Ether in, but, like, if Ether fails, we have Eerie and Melon who are off beam, but in a strong flank high ground, right? So it's totally different philosophies. Both are good, and you can see, like, it's fun watching them match up, where Jacob is like, ooh, I can go into their combo and pick off their demo. Now, Ether is like, I can't go into their combo, get anything for it, but our flank players are suddenly doing a lot of damage and shoving them off anyway. Like, they can't uproot Eerie here. Now, they finally managed to. Nice way out of Honesty to get that quick 2-pick. So, yeah, interesting. Two different philosophies. Again, you can see which one was better here, but it's not like one is better always. It's whatever your team strengths are, and especially how they match up in a match like this. Another fast play from Jacob off timing. So there's no Ubers. So I think now it's actually a great play. Like, don't let them get set up for the Uber, right? He completely feeds. Fine. Great. Again, he distracted them. Now, like, people have to back up and go to the dispenser and heal up and all that. And, like, realistically, what else was Jacob doing? Like, he can't really get behind right now because actually it's called that Melon is protecting Mujet here, so Jacob doesn't have a way into the sniper. Yeah, see, it's super cool that, like, here in this case, like, I remember in the game where, like, you know what, Toy was kind of dying more often than Blake, obviously, and like Carson did a great job as defensive pyro. The Melon is, again, opting for a different play style, right? Gonna, like, sit around our sniper and say, like, listen, the rest of our team around our medic have to protect our medic. So that's Eerie, that's Rebel, that's Blank. Everyone else has to keep our medic alive while, yeah, she's off playing with the sniper instead. So having that combo means that Mujet is the one who's letting them back in the round, and actually Mujet doesn't get that snipe that they were hoping for to, like, open up these Ubers. Instead, Lenny gets it, I mean, onto an engineer, not a big deal. But Fish isn't in position either. Yeah, it's a tough one. Okay, so this is like old-fashioned Lakeside, I feel like, that the defensive Uber is, like, bunkered down in Lakeside, in the bathhouse, I mean. And then the offensive Uber, like, goes in, clears ruins, and then takes it through main. Let's get up close and personal here. So, yeah, you can see now. This is so weird. Why do we keep getting disconnected from Blank in these posts? I'd be really curious to hear from Blank in this one. Like, I'd love, if you're watching Blank and you're still here after God knows how long, I would love to hear, like, what, like, maybe is there no call in these post Ubers, or are you seeing this play where, like I honestly think that, like, getting Lenny in this post and you dying for it is not a worthy trade. But maybe you think differently. Like, yeah, if you think, like, ooh, maybe, like, since Mujet spawns so much faster and maybe Mujet likes playing without the sniper or something like that, there's something I'm missing maybe. Or if it's like, hey, there was no call that, like, you know, maybe DT or Toy or, like, are not calling where they're going in post. So you're just like, what the hell? Yeah, I'm really curious what it might be. Or maybe this is all intended that DT and Toy are backing up and you're like, great, I'm going to trade for Lenny, and then good luck in the post. Like, again, that's a fine decision to make. Yeah, just curious, like, what it is. Like, is it one of those specific calls? Is it just that there's no call? Because, yeah, like, to be honest, I don't think Toy and DT die here if you're with them in post, right? Like, that was a play from their combo versus your combo, but their combo had a scout and yours didn't, right? So, I don't know. To me, that's a head scratcher. And to everyone else watching, again, you can see there's upsides that, like, you know, maybe Blank thought the combo will be fine in this post Uber. I can get greedy and go for some more exciting play by trading for the sniper who's caught out. Or maybe it was a miscommunication where communication would have solved this issue, and hopefully Witness Gaming maybe sees us and works something like that out of, like, we need to have a designated caller to our post Ubers, right? If you're someone else watching this, that's a good takeaway. So, yeah, head scratcher for me. This felt easily middling, that then kind of got thrown away and lost for Witness Gaming. Huh. Ooh, losing shot away there was actually very bad. I don't know if he had any way of surviving there. Yeah, now Ether gets, like, a bomb to turn all the heads. Eerie on cap time. Toy's going to be spawning. Yeah. Yeah, Ether does feed here, which is good. Yeah, everyone is still half HP here. Yep, Blank now walks forward. See? Oh, I said number one, Ether feeds. Number two, it is good. You can see why it's good. Everyone is on half HP. Blank charges forward and just shreds them. Just absolutely obliterates them. Like, yeah, Jacob goes and feeds, but the health is so much better because everyone on Witness Gaming was so spread out, right? So, amazing play from Ether. Completely opened this refight for his team. Blank, okay, he dies for it. Like, here, I think it's okay. Again, because they're all on half HP. I think that's a good call, or, like, it's a tough call to make, but, and I don't think there's a right answer there. It's like, you know, both are pretty good. We just have to hope it works out. So, yeah, this is where our better spawns are doing well for our team. I'm not sure if capping here was the right play, just because Honesty and Pablo are so close with full buff. Yeah, see, like, we lost Fish and we can't contest them now. Lenny is getting these great shots. Jet can't contest. Toy can't heal everyone. This is a weird one. I actually think calling not to cap was a bit better for Witness Gaming here. But a very tough call to make, because to go forward and fight them means you have to stand on the point, which means you have to cap it. But yeah, you can see here now, like, instead of being revs and fighting, Erie's throwing out sandwiches. Interesting. Ether is doing a great job here, and you can see actually how the death ball approach from, well, not the death ball, but again, playing safer as a combo here for CHUBBZ is actually worse, because now that when Ether is spamming these rockets, they're hitting 5 people. And all 5 of them have to turn around. Like, Lenny's looking backwards. Honesty is looking backwards. Carson is looking backwards. Jacob is looking backwards, I think. Or at least he's average, whatever. So now, if CHUBBZ were more spread out, Ether can't go for this play. So you can see now, like, oh, before it was better to spread out. It was better to play as a unit. Now it's better to spread out. So it's interesting to see the play styles and, like, the counters to them. And again, not that one is correct and the other is wrong. It's how they seem to want to play and what they're good at. Here's another case, actually, like, if Blake held right-click on Pablo and they run it Toy in a straight line, they get the pick. Melon was not there, and they had enough ad to make this happen. Shot away, not... Yeah, no, he's still down, so... Anyway, another one, like, they couldn't have known how much better they were building than Toy, but if you're ever not sure, err on the side of thinking we might have ad, don't choreograph, let's go now. Because, look at this exchange now, like, again, it would have been a really tough call to make, but if they went aggressively, Toy wouldn't have had this exchange back. Yeah, we're sort of playing for overtime. Again, if you're Witness Gaming, you either win the you win the battle right now by just out-fragging them. Nice play out of Ether and Fish. Yeah, that wins on the spot. Great call for Fish to coordinate the whole team on that collapse. Or you win the war. Right now, like, even if Witness Gaming lose the cap, if CHUBBZ gets the cap here, who cares? Witness Gaming spawns faster, so yeah. It's felt winning for, yeah, like, I'm actually surprised it's taking this long for Witness Gaming to get the overtime, but, or was it the point bug maybe? This now is a little bit shaky, but, you know, Toy, whoa! I was gonna say, but Toy has this big Uber, but oh my god, these revenge crits from Lucky, that's crazy. Also, honestly, just, like, bursting out and, like, trading all of his HP for a pick on DT, very good play. I mean, Toy, again, comes up on Uber, they just take this across point. Doesn't, wait! They are losing so many so fast. That's crazy, just the individual skill from CHUBBZ, like, we're going to keep going for these points, like, bob and weave in and out. This still feels not that bad. Like, are they going to deny Lenny now, or are they going to let Witness Gaming respawn and come back in? Blank is going nuts here from flank, but, again, Blank is playing off beam. I wonder what the motivation is here. I feel like Blank playing on the beam, like, Scout on Lakeside is, like, Honesty is a free kill for Blank if Blank has the beam, but Blank now had to back up, and now is flanking? Running into Honesty, who's not full. This is very weird. Blank's movement is amazing. It did way more than any other Scout would in this situation, but, like, huh. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if, like, maybe there's, like, a philosophy, again, where, like, DT wants so many of the heals and, like, does really well with them on Lakeside. Like, oh my god, DT is so good on Lakeside that, like, if Blank is able to say, great, take 6% of my heals and put it into DT instead, that I think is a really good call and a fair trade-off. That, like, cool, I'm going to play more of a flank scout, but, like, I mean, Blank is also so good on this map that, like, I don't know if the over-under on that one checks out from my math, but crazy. Blake actually has ad now. They use it, but Pablo gets shoved back. Again, a great play from Blank and Ether to turn the heads back. So we're getting the picks, like getting the Lenny pick from Mujet is nuts. And now Mujet gets free reign. DT and Blank going like again ahead of overtime, good stuff. You don't want to be caught out where it's like 3-2 and then you have 0% and you have to start getting cap. That's another tip. Don't just go when it's the last second. You have to go earlier and buy your team some time in case their pyro gets cute with like air blast or something. Very good play here. Yeah, they had that minute and they took it. Oh, wait a second. What a crazy collapse here from, I think Shadowway got a quick, like, multi-kill. Wow, that is unbelievable. Unreal. Full wipe. Wow, I watched this, like, I think 2 weeks ago the match was, so. Anyway, scores 3-1 right now for Team CHUBBZ. That is a tough one. This one I remember now. I'm thinking back, like, Witness Gaming kind of had this. Like I mentioned, they were in the winning spot for a while, but I don't know. Again, a lot of star players coming out of the Goonman CHUBBZ Daniel team. But a tough loss, I think, for Witness Gaming. Okay. Check out the odds here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for Bathhouse. Well, 5, really, for Witness Gaming. 1, just Lenny with no buff. Or, I mean, I guess he has a little bit of a buff. But, yeah, will die to a headshot or a full charge body shot. So, basically, no buff. Okay, so 1 is just Lenny. But it's a great way to get these pot shots, a sniper. And to contest Mujed at least. But now this point presence is like, look at this. Like, Jacob's already in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Wait, what the hell? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9? Am I crazy? But that's 10? Oh, it is 8. Okay, sorry. I was like counting the... Oh, the word mini sentry under Blake is what I was counting as 2 people. Okay. I'm not that old. Right. So we have so many of these players that are basically contesting mid already. I like this from both spies. Both are decloaked and ready to fight. Calling what's coming across this side, but DT like, oh god. Let's see what happens. Jacob going to this high ground. Blank now not helping on mid. Having to fight Jacob and shot away. Whereas Pablo actually not shooting anybody either. Oh, just because, again, they got Bathhouse for free. So again, there's all these pros and cons, right? Like, Witness Gaming got Bathhouse for free, and they get to use it. Right now, there's better heals, I think. Actually, really, it's better heals for Witness Gaming. Huh. I don't know. Shot away and Jacob made these plays across point, but it's not like they're really showing a lot for it. Now, like, Bowl is the person taking the most damage of all people. DT across point first. That's crazy. Yeah, this is an interesting play out of, like, Witness Gaming saw the Bathhouse as free and said, great, we don't have to worry about that anymore, and then rotated towards point. But CHUBBZ didn't do anything in that meantime. Too slow. Too slow. Bull getting just ripped apart here. He had to get 2 hours just now. So that means Pablo wasn't getting healed. He actually managed to barely win that fight against Blank thanks to Lenny's help, but they almost lost Pablo. Wow. Shot away finally becoming relevant. Jacob finally becoming relevant, turning Mujed around. But on the other side, right, we have, who is this? Yeah, like basically the flank on both sides collapsing real well. Nice shot from Lenny on the long angle. Toy getting kind of stuck. Yeah, like you're pinched at that point. Well, like you can't really leave. Shot away just gets you. So, felt weird that the Goonman CHUBBZ Daniel sort of had an opportunity to win mid. Didn't take it. And then Witness put in a good amount of damage, but I don't know. They just like kind of took a deep breath almost collectively as a group and then let their flankers do their work and then finally move back in as a team. So, interesting play. Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised, yeah, that Witness Gaming, like, again, didn't go for the win, but didn't leave either. So, they basically had Toy stuck on the low ground, and then are like, well, hope our medic doesn't die, and then just died. Let's see. So, yeah, actually going for the old-fashioned, like, ad play here, not for the forward hold on Ruins. Again, like, this team, like, so many of these players wrote the book on how to play aggressive with forward holds on Koth. And they're not doing it. So I really like seeing how they're like just developing their play over time. It's also super cool that, you know, it's funny how sometimes when teams bunker down in here, they have like their sniper and everyone like playing in here to like take 0 damage. But you lose a lot of map control that way. Here what they're saying is like, we have Uber to contest their players. So like if we need to force, we'll force. Everyone else spread out and get vision, get map control, all that. So they do force. I don't know. It doesn't really feel great because just Eerie ran in that door. So I don't know. I mentioned that it was like a... Whoa! Sorry, I didn't mean to click. Doing this always does something really annoying where now we don't see Carson's thing through the wall. So that's why I was avoiding going to people's POVs the whole time. But I think I just broke my HUD or casting essentials or whatever. Doesn't matter. Point is, I don't know. That felt weird. Like, I get the motivation that it's like, oh, if they really suck into us, we can just use, but otherwise our teammates should be active on the map. But here you can see, I think, how bad that was, because, like, they just got forced by one player. Like, Eerie person forced them by themselves. Eerie's going to be back up when the enemy team has Uber, so, like, yeah, this sucks. Lenny's dead to Mujet. Mujet got in a position somewhere to take the SVS. Very weird play. I mentioned, like, the accolade of this team was that they wrote the book on how to forward hold, and then they're not showing us why they're good at doing this. So, like, I thought here, like, oh, interesting. Let's see what they cooked up this time. But to me, it was just like a downgrade. I don't know. I'd be really curious to send this bit of a clip to, like, Bull or whoever else and see, like, what was the motivation there, or, like, what do you see success looking like with that kind of a setup? Ugh. Another really weird off timing from Jacob, but this robs them again of that time, right? Like, Toy is about to just, like, sit super comfortably, have this ad, wait for the enemy team to come close to the team, and then charge back in with, like, Fish to maybe go for a pick on the Blake, or at least call where the enemy team is. Instead, now everyone's screaming that Jacob is in, doing damage to the medic. They don't get in position. They don't have eyes on point. Like, that was a fantastic feed from Jacob. Another very good play for a soldier to die off Uber. Charging forward onto Blake. Yep, Fish calling out where Blake is going. They almost get him. This actually is very good out of the rest of the team. Again, keeping Blake alive. That's sort of their specialty, is like, we must protect Blake at all costs. Rebel from downtown. He goes to feed for it. Oh, almost gets it. Nice try, buddy. I didn't even see how low Blake went. That was for sure the single digits. Really nice shout there from, like, a great attempt from Rebel. Now we want to feed here. Yeah, Toy's actually a little bit forward. But then again, they're not really meeting anyone. So I guess, like, if they call basically that there's someone here, Toy will leave. But that call never came. So great spot. Bull still being dead to Fish, I think, is a tough one. Like, yeah, this basically now is kind of giving Witness Gaming a lot more comfort to be around the point and contest the point. But this ad does come back in from Blake. They do get Toy. Super easy. Shot away calling it from behind. Not even necessary. But now the feedback in. So I think, like, yeah, it is fine to lose Toy here, actually. Like, some teams would be like, guys, we got to protect our medic and get our medic out. I don't think so. If I'm Toy in this situation, I'm calling, force their Uber with me here, let me die, and then win the post fight. And that's what we're seeing right here. Like, and again, even if we don't win this post fight, we'll win the next one because our spawns are better. I don't think they should have capped, actually. I think that was a mistake. Like, Melon's held this too low. DT's held this too low. No one is in Bathhouse. Blank is a death here. Yeah, this is so interesting for Blank. I really want to ask him about this. If someone sees this, please ask me if I've asked Blank about this, and I'll try and reach out to him. Anyway, yeah. So this, I think capping was like a severe error, like a blunder in chess, where it's like, this was in a great situation until this one move, and suddenly, like, what seemed really good is now actually really bad. Blank does get Bull, but your spawns are so bad, I don't think that trade is worth it. Bull's spawn's really bad too, but I don't know. This felt weirdly much more solid out of Witness Gaming if they don't cap. Like, again, like, let your spawners come back sooner, let their spawners come back later, and be more deliberate, I guess, with the way that you set up your post-point capture. Here it's like almost like they just barely got it, but, like, on their way into the abyss, right? Like, they got it for, like, all of, what, 5 seconds and then lost it again. Losing Mujet here. Really nice double out of Lenny. It's really interesting how, like, we don't see these, like, unbelievable sniper stat lines. Like, both are, like, on average in the middle of the scoreboard here. Lenny's actually at the bottom of the scoreboard. Wow. It's amazing how, like, just the game is adjusted around sniper, even on a Koth map like this. And also just how good these players are. Like, but anyway, like, of course, when your sniper gets a quick 2K like that, it's like, yeah, it's kind of not much for us to do here. Or, like, now we want to exchange, but, like, oh my god, these guys are getting, like, taking just the most amount of damage. Their post is going to be terrible. All thanks to Lenny. Some things never change. Like, this is a time that a sniper very clearly got multiple picks. Oh my god, a third, or really the fourth, but getting a pick on the Toy. Ooh. You know, the first half of this round felt pretty good, but then Witness Gaming messed up a little bit. CHUBBZ had that crazy pick from Lenny. Tough. So now that we're getting to the end of the match, at least for me, like, you could tell at the beginning I was pausing a lot to try and get a lot of these. Oh, actually, wait, it's not over? Let's see. It's mostly over, yeah. Like, the spawners are too far away. Yeah, it's over. Okay. I like to pause a lot and like kind of impose like principles. Oh, it is the last round. Whoops. I thought it was a 4-1. I thought it was a 4-2. You know what? Now I remember. It was because it was because I thought I predicted a 4-2 and it was actually a 4-1. Anyway, it's funny. I paused a lot at the beginning because I think there's a lot of like principles to kind of nail down, and then as the game goes on, I can just reference what I said before in a new context. So I don't like it goes faster and faster, I guess, as the rounds go by. But what a fantastic match! I mean, takeaways for me are, what an incredible set of mid fights from both teams. Like, please watch all 10 of these mid fights. Like, watch it from Witness Gaming's perspective for all 5. Watch it from CHUBBZ's perspective for all 5. What else? I mean, incredible play. I shouted out all the individual classes. I mean, really anyone you pick in the server is going to be a world-class Highlander player. Like, they're all so good. And this match shows us why. I think it's interesting how I kind of mentioned, like, the mistakes almost equally for both teams, but it was a 4-1 at the end of the day. So, like, CHUBBZ was a better team, right? Like, they won mid more often. They held point for longer. They refought the point and got it back faster. Like, all of these little things are what added up. But it's amazing how often Witness Gaming had like an opportunity for something and went for it and did well with it. And like still the match was this close. So yeah, for someone who's, well, really at any level, even an invite player, like a top invite player, if you're on one of these teams, I'm so glad you watched this demo with me. What a masterpiece of a match. I'm so happy with what we saw out of both of these teams. And so many takeaways for us to like take into our own play, whether you're an individual player or you're a main caller or you're a team as a whole trying to figure out how to, you know, reach this level of play. Yeah, thank you really for being here. I love this kind of stuff, and I hope you love it too. So anyway, I'll see you on next broadcast. Catch you on the next one with me and Jamon and Dolphin coming at you. So yeah, I really enjoy this. Hope you did too. Take care.